This version of It's Erik Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
It's Erik Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Erik Nagel.
And thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Erik Nagel, and over there in the frozen tundra known as Arizona, there's Jordan.
Hey, everybody.
Jordan doesn't know the whole thing about lower thirds. No.
I had it adjusted.
There we go. Come on. There we go. Everyone wants to see that quaff.
Have you yelled at all of us enough tonight already?
I haven't yelled.
The show hasn't even started yet.
I know.
Taskmaster.
I'm pent up with rage. Most of it has to do with your dumb state.
Yeah.
Anyway, now you threw me off track here. Okay, yes. So if you're listening to us on the iHeartRadio app, thank you very much for doing so. If you're listening to us later on demands, places like Apple, Spotify, do us a kindness, go over there, leave us a positive review. It does help out the program, and we'll be your bestest friend forever and ever. And if you want to join us live each and every week as we're doing the program, go over to our live rooms on YouTube and Twitch, like, follow, subscribe, all the other things that, everybody else tells you to do, and nobody does it, even though it's free. Just go over there and do it anyway, and then you'll know when we're in live, and you can hop into the room and say nice things, say horrible things, whatever you want to do. Throw some money at Jordan. He could use it. Some super chats and what have you. Anyway, on the program today, we have got a lot to talk about. We've got a bunch of stuff happening with the Fallout franchise, so we'll get to that. Blizzcon got canceled. We'll talk about that. Net neutrality is coming back in a big, big way. And what else do we got on there? A whole bunch of stuff with airline flights.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're going to talk about that, we might as well bring in our old friend, Jay from the Masters of None. Jay, hello, sir. How are you?
What's up? How are you guys?
It's been a few weeks since you've been on. Anything changed? What's new?
Well, certainly my technical issues have not gotten better.
Right.
Looks I just remembered that.
That green haze looks like you were poisoned.
I kind of was. That's what I'm here to talk about.
Well, Jay is here. Let me throw him up. Damn it! I don't have his lower thirds loaded. That's my problem. I'll take care of that. Give out your plugs and everything right now.
The Masters of None podcast. You can check it out. We're kind of on a little hiatus, but we're doing stuff exclusively on our Patreon. We got a new thing. It's a new concept for podcasting. It's called the Sheetcast, where you pay for the Patreon, and then we post content on a Google Sheet that you go check every day to see what's new.
All right.
It's been the funniest bit. I mean, every time he's mentioned it, I just laugh. It's such a great bit.
Subscribe to our newsletter. We will.
It's not a newsletter. It's a spreadsheet, sir. It's a spreadsheet.
We will bring you into our daily spreadsheet, and you can see the notes.
It's like a podcast Wikipedia. Anybody can, alter it. It's just free range.
Where they just cut and paste other stories word for word, and then just change the author to their name. Fantastic.
Yeah, sometimes we do that. So we'll do little mini exclusive podcasts and different weird things, videos and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a Google Sheet. You pay to access it, and that's where we're taking this next level, baby.
Very good. Getting out in front of the entire, because right now it's like, well, what else could we do? Everything's been done.
Exactly.
Radio, TV, social media, it's all merging into the same thing where it's not like, well, I only do this or I only do that. You got to do everything all at once at the same time now. No one's doing the Google spreadsheet.
We were the original 3 straight white guys podcasting 15 years ago, and now everybody does that.
Right.
So
how'd that work out for you?
Worked out great in the beginning until there were 5 bajillion podcasts, and now it's just like, oh.
And then Art blew up with his father podcast and left you guys in the dust.
So the next thing is making viral videos about airline nightmares. That's my new thing.
Well, we're going to get into that in just a second here. It was suggested to me by somebody who listens to the program that we needed to add a new feature. Now, they only told me it the other day, and I don't have time to get an official intro done, but we're going to work on it. So you know how we do This Week in Disasters? We need to start doing This Week in Interactions, because more times than not, something is going on in our personal lives where it's just a problem.
And mainly you. Like, don't
No,
say
you're
we. I mean,
getting pretty. You're catching up pretty well. I'm teaching you pretty well.
I've had some moments, yes.
Yes.
But on a weekly basis, it's going to be a lot of stories about Eric's jaunts to various restaurants and, Dallas trips. So.
Right. Things like that. Things that cause an issue when I happen to be in public. That's what we're going to start doing. So I don't have a thing. So I'll just do like, Mama said knock you out. I hate everything about you, Ugly Kid Joe. Put it all together. 90s shit smash alternative production. There we go. This week in interactions. The what?
Yes.
That should be it. All right. So Jay's here, and it's not because we want to talk to Jay for any other reason. Jay is here because he had an incident happen to him. You were on a flight. Were you going to Atlanta or coming from Atlanta?
Coming back from Atlanta on
What
Monday.
were you doing in Atlanta?
Painting the town, doing all the Atlanta type things. I checked out an Atlanta Braves game. That I'm trying to hit all the ballparks, so we did that. We saw this underground band that my girlfriend's into who never plays live, so we were like, oh, they're playing. It's a baseball game. I have an old friend who lives down there that I worked on the Warped Tour with, so we just tied it in and went down and got dirty in the South.
You didn't go to the Coca-Cola Pavilion?
I could give a shit about Coca-Cola.
Right.
I was like, well, I'm going to go to a corporate...
No reason to go to
museum.
Atlanta except you're going there.
No.
Only reason. Where'd you go to
did go to
Buckethead?
What?
Where'd you go to... What was it that place? It's a big giant rock where they have laser light shows and shit. Isn't it like Buckethead or something? There's different tiers of Atlanta. Atlanta's kind of has a highway that circles around it, and then everything else is built on the other side of the highway that spreads out. So there's these areas where you go down here, and this is the party, young person, hip scene. You go over there, and you're probably not going to come back from going into that section. There's all that kind of stuff.
I don't know, but we were downtown at night on a Sunday, and I know why they filmed The Walking Dead there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
were you on Peachtree Road or Peachtree Avenue or Peachtree Boulevard or any of the other 9 Peachtree streets that are in the city of Atlanta?
I was at the intersection of all of them. I was at
Right.
the nexus of the universe.
It is fantastic. So you were coming back from Atlanta
Yeah.
on the flight. So it's you and your girlfriend?
Yep.
Okay. What airline was this?
Well, if it was something horrifying, it could only really be one.
Oh, no.
There we go. It can only be one of two. So I'll let you guess. You probably know already.
All right. Well,
Jordan?
Value Jet? No, Value Jet's long gone after they crashed into the Everglades.
I'm going to go with Spirit.
Boom.
What would be the other one if it's not Spirit?
Frontier.
Yeah, Frontier is the other super low budget one.
I honestly don't know that one. Okay.
Those are the ones that you literally have to put your feet out the bottom and do it Flintstone style to get the plane to get off the ground. It's so low tier.
Jordan,
It's so bad.
Jordan puts his kid on his shoulders so the head pops up like Dino, so you can
Right.
see the takeoff. All right, so you're flying Spirit Airlines, coming back from Atlanta, flying into Newark, New Jersey. So
I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
no. What were you going to say?
I mean, you could just play the news clip that was on Eyewitness News in New York City last night on television.
So an incident happened on the plane, and Jay was smart enough to get his phone out and recording. And when he initially posted this and then showed it to me, I said, "Oh, let's talk about this." And since then, people have reached out to him, and he's licensing the video out to other news outlets because of what happened here. This one happened to air in New York City on ABC News, Eyewitness News, which is the local version of it. Let's take a look and see there.
Sight that horrified passengers aboard a Spirit Airlines flight, liquid streaming out of the bathroom and down the plane's aisle.
Take your feet up, Jerry.
Yeah, this happened on Monday on a flight from Atlanta to Newark. The liquid started trickling down the aisle as the flight landed. The trickle turned into a stream as passengers rushed to grab their belongings and deboard. The Spirit Airlines spokesperson says it was actually clean water that was leaking from a bathroom.
Hello, I'm Mark
No.
Horrified
It's clean.
passengers aboard a
Nothing
Spirit
leaks from a bathroom. And if it does, it's not clean water
Yeah.
at all.
Here's the funny thing. I briefly glanced at this actual news story the other day, not knowing that you were connected to this in any way. And it just makes me happy to see that this is the exact same thing. Because like a couple weeks back, we did a story on, I think, a Delta airline where someone
had diarrhea.
Had diarrhea and was running up and down the aisles, just
trying to get to the bathroom, and there's
little
just
waste
plops and streaks.
So I almost thought
this
was the exact same situation, but oh my God, I can't believe you're on that flight.
I want to bring this scene back up here. Look at this in the back. Yeah. That's not a stream. That is just it's like the bowl broke, and people were
started. Yeah,
people were going, and you know how when you flush the toilet, it's that insane suction noise that feels like the plane's decompressing. Mm-hmm. It looks like it didn't even get to that point. Like that stainless steel bowl was just leaking, and every time everyone was going, it was building up in the tank, and then finally succumb to some sort of pressure, like when your ears pop on the plane.
Yeah, as it started coming down, and like we start hearing commotion from the back. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, the bathroom's overflowing! The bathroom's open! Like, pick up your bags!" Like we turn around and like what's going on? Because we're starting to come into Newark, and I'm like, "Oh my God, what's happening?"
So this happened mid-flight, like you hadn't landed or you hadn't not taken off yet. This was
we were already coming into Newark when it started coming down the aisle. So we were like, on our initial descent, like the last probably 20, 30 minutes. And then once we landed and they like hit the brakes, dude, that's when a friggin' river just I caught the very tail end of it, but like a river, it was like someone just went whoosh and it just poured down the aisle. It was horrifying.
I was looking for it. I think it's on my Instagram somewhere, but I wasn't able to find it. I had this happen a few years ago, but I was on New Jersey Transit, leaving Penn Station, and I walked up to, how you get into the back by the stairs and you just walk through the cars to get up to the front or wherever you need to go. Got to one car and there's nobody sitting there. I was like, oh, this is perfect. I walk in and I look down the aisle and there's just streams coming. At the very end of the car is the one car that has the bathroom. Mm-hmm. And that was leaking down the pathway of the train. Now, that's gross and disgusting too, but you would expect it more from a train than you would from the plane having this issue.
Yeah, most of the comments on the TikTok video were like, "That's not a plane. That looks like a Greyhound bus." I'm like, "Yeah, that's Spirit for you."
Yeah, look at those seats. Like they almost look like folding chairs.
Like there's
look how thin the metal is holding that chair up. No one of a larger stature should be on this plane.
You also notice too, and Jay had said in the video, lift your feet up. Everyone lifts their feet up. This looks like a really shitty carnival roller coaster where people's feet are just dangling and they're flying through the air over this. So what did you post on social media, tagging Spirit? Did they write you any kind of compensation for this?
So that was the thing that was crazy, was that none of the staff on the plane acknowledged it whatsoever. They just act as if nothing happened.
This was Monday for them.
Not like, don't worry about it, people. It's just clean.
They're in the back going, la, 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 la.
Dude, I could not believe. I was like, as we're walking out, I'm like, nothing? You're not going to mention that at all? Like, what? So that's what blew my mind. I'm like, all right, I guess because, they're not going to open their mouths because then people are going to start wanting, free tickets or miles or whatever. But it was wild. And I got on the plane and I've never had a Spirit nightmare before. So I was definitely due for this.
Right.
But we were getting situated and I sat down. I got up and the seat pad just completely fell off the seat. And there's just metal underneath it. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I was like, I should just film that because that's funny. Because other people saw it and started laughing. They're like, yep, Spirit. I was
Isn't your seat supposed to be used for a flotation device in the case of an emergency?
Yes. But
so
they also
it wasn't even mounted to the chair.
No,
you have to pay extra for the flotation seats on Spirit. Everything is nickel and diming.
Yeah, you have to pay for a flotation device. It's a
$9.99. So this story goes out everywhere. And did you write to Spirit explaining your experience, saying you want some sort of compensation? Did they offer anything?
No, I thought about it, but I'm like, it's Spirit. They're just going to say it was like clean water and it just happens and too bad. I'm like, there's no point in doing this. And by that point, because as soon as the plane landed, I posted, I'm like, this is going online immediately because this is going to blow
And
up.
You tagged the airline and all that?
I didn't tag them. I hashtagged them.
No, that doesn't do anything. You got to tag them on that stuff.
I don't care. Spirit has a well regarded hashtag because there's tons of Spirit stuff out there. I'm like, they're gonna find out about this. I don't care if whatever. And it just started blowing up, dude.
See,
I think
here's the big difference. If this was another airline and people were posting this, you would have heard through your social media or something. They would respond to you publicly saying, please DM them with your information, or somebody would call you, something like that.
Yeah, not Spirit. No,
and they would offer you some sort of compensation, a voucher, anything, free bags, check-ins next time, whatever they're going to do to make things right. In the case of Spirit, they could say, well, we can give you another voucher to use a Spirit flight. And that's like terrible. Like, no, I don't want to go back on your airline. $50. Just give me $50 back off the cost of my flight. That'll be great.
Yeah, no, but it started blowing up and it got up to like 1 million views, like really fast. And I got contacted by some licensing company. And I'm like, yeah, if you're interested in licensing this, we could give you either credit or some kind of compensation. I was like, this is real. First of all, the TikTok started blowing up. And today they finally cut me off at like 3.1 million. Like the algorithm was just like, that's enough of this. Plus it's been everywhere. But some licensing company actually contacted us on our Twitter account about the TikTok video, which is crazy.
What is this? It says your name via Storyful. What is Storyful? Storyful
is the licensing company. So they contacted me and I was like, if this is real, I was like, I'm only interested in money. Like, here's my phone number. You call me. We're not playing this DM game.
Yeah.
Like, if you're legit, you can call me and we'll talk money, because that's all I'm interested in at this point. The millions of hours I've done on stupid social media. It's time to pay the piper. So they contacted me. They explained it all. Like, yeah, here's our website. You can check us out. I researched them. They're like, legit. Like, well, you could do exclusive with us or non-exclusive. Like, but we can usually get more money when it's exclusive to our different places. Blah, blah. I'm like, all right. They started like, we'll give you get 60%, we get 40%. I was like, nah, that's not enough. Like, all right, we could do 70-30. That's the highest. I was like, all right. So I'm a salesman. I'm like, you're not going to outsell the sales guy. And I was like, all right, let's go. So like by the end of the day, I was like, let's do it. And then it ended up, it's been everywhere, dude. It's been like the Daily Mail in the UK, AOL.com, Yahoo, the USA Today, like all the ABC affiliates picked it up.
Right.
There's just tons of them. Today it hit like all the India like newspapers or whatever. Like it's going all over India. I'm getting all kinds of crazy like foreign language posts on the TikTok. And I told them, I was like, I don't want my name out there. Just put Masters of None podcast, because I don't want to get blackballed, because I probably still will fly Spirit again because I'm a cheap bastard. And of course, the first thing that pops up is like, has my name on it. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? Like, oh, we're so sorry. The first few went out. We're going to ask them to change it. And
going to be
on
the
5 o'clock news with my freaking name on it.
Imagine like there's fans of Spirit who are like Swifties and they just start threatening Jay, trying to cancel him. They're going to dox him. They're going to, worse if they ever see him in public. You will never fly a Spirit airline again.
Yeah,
it's like, really? This is who you're standing for? This shitty airline that's been repainted and rebranded 3 different times?
Yeah,
because
that's the worst.
Each previous version of that airline had disasters that they were trying to cover up. But what do I know?
The idea is I'll make enough money that I could fly a nice airline.
Yeah, maybe treat
Delta
yourself.
had shit going down the aisles. Doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter anymore.
Maybe treat yourself to like the mint status on JetBlue.
Ooh.
Something like that. Something where you fly out of the new Kennedy airport, like the TWA, where they make it look like 1960s.
I need a new stove, so I might buy a new stove, but I'm going to buy a yellow one and like put the Spirit logo on it.
What'd you do? I bought a stove.
The stove is sponsored by Spirit Airlines.
Well, this is insane.
Just nuts, man.
It is pretty nuts, but right place, right time. Proud of you for getting the video out. Unfortunately, you did it vertical, which doesn't really help.
Hey,
but you were in the moment, so I understand. But anytime something goes on, people, this way is the proper way. Don't do this shit.
You're right.
Well, it just goes to show that, I mean, you and I have talked about this and we've put this out there. Always have your phone ready. Always have something ready to record, because you're going to get into these incidents. And if you don't have your phone out, you're not going to capitalize on it. And you were just there and you're like, yep, I was smart enough to get this done. And now you're getting paid for it.
Also, I went vertical because I was just thinking TikTok. You know what I mean? I didn't think it would get to like television.
Right.
But I did have the presence of mind to film the the little Spirit, like the thing in the back of the, whatever. There was like some kind of thing that said Spirit. So I got the establishing shot to prove that it was Spirit Airlines.
Right.
And then I went back. I did a couple pans. I did 2 different versions. And I did get complimented on my camera work.
Did you put it in cinematic mode? So it's like, dun, 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 dun. Make it look like when the giant wave is coming and Day After Tomorrow knocks down the Statue of Liberty. Coming right through the plane. Blitz Mob in the chat saying Terminal A in Newark hasn't been ruined yet. It still looks good. Yeah, that's where I fly out of most of the time is Terminal A. They moved it away from the other buildings. Like that's how much they were desperately trying to remodel that airport. And like, we're not even going to fix the previous buildings. We're moving it all over here. So you got to drive an extra 5 minutes to that terminal. Shut that other terminal down, and eventually that thing's going to get bulldozed and rebuilt, and it's going to look like the future.
I think at LaGuardia, they have like Spirit and Frontier are like in this, they're not even in the main terminal. They're in like this little weird, like old, like park building. That's like not even.
They're sharing a desk. Like when you see Hearst, Avis, Dollar rental car, it's like Spirit, Frontier, and this.
It's just in this retrofitted, like old building, like this old, like 1-story building. It's really, really funny.
And they treat your reservations just like they do a rental car. It's like, wait, I bought a ticket. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have a plane for you. It's like, we could try another location, or maybe, you know what, we can honor the credit over here at Frontier and see if they have a plane for you. Yes, we have a plane, but it's not going to Atlanta. Like, none of this works for me. This is a terrible way to do business. Trashitarians in the chat saying, I just flew Spirit this weekend. Looks like I picked the right flight.
Sure did.
Yeah.
I just did a search for news stories, and yeah, you're right. Times of India just picked this up about 20 hours ago. USA Today.
You're global,
Fox
my
Business.
friend.
I mean, he is going everywhere with the mysterious liquid.
But yeah, look at this. I don't know if you see it. Sorry, it doesn't work. Stupid green screen. But Spirit just emailed me a couple hours ago. We would still love to hear about your flight. How was your flight?
How was your flight? Send them links to every news outlet that picked up your video. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, that's what you do. Have a whole. It's like, here, I itemized and bullet pointed it for you, and then here's all the lists of the archives. Everyone who's airing it, publishing it, and then they're still not going to offer you anything good.
I'll still fly Spirit. I don't care. Spirit, if you want to reach out, give me like that summer, like all you can fly pass. I'll go out there. I'll make videos for you about all my travels. So let's make it up, baby.
They'll do that, but all your flights have extremely long delay in connecting flights. There's no direct flights if they give you that pass.
I'm happy to let's do something together. Let's get in on it.
All right.
I have 15 more baseball stadiums I got to go to. Let's do it, Spirit.
Nice.
That's, you know what? Good for you for doing that. I lost all interest in baseball, but good for you for doing that, because when I was younger too, I was like, that would be great to see a game in every ballpark in the United States.
It's fun, man. I enjoy it.
Some of them are still shitholes, right?
Well,
yeah, a couple. They're phasing them out. Oakland is like the worst one, and they're getting rid of that one.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting rid of the team, aren't they? Oh, wait, no, they're keeping the team, but they're going to rebuild it. Or are they moving them to Vegas?
They're moving to Vegas, but
of course,
things are so bad in Oakland that they're just going to play the last couple of years in Sacramento, the minor league stadium.
Just like Jordan's hockey team. Well,
I don't have a hockey team anymore, Eric.
Right.
Thanks for bringing it up 2 weeks in a row.
His hockey team left
you're
him.
a Coyotes fan?
Yeah. Left him and then told them in the middle of the night, yeah, we're moving to Ohio. Not Ohio. Oh, my God.
Utah.
Imagine they moved to Ohio. To Utah. And so long and thanks for all the fish. And that was
I saw a video of the team showing up to Utah, and they had like all the people, and yay, welcome to Utah, and all these kids were out there and stuff like that, and the players could not look less enthusiastic about it. I'm like, you know what, serves you all right. I mean, it's not your fault. It's the NHL, but
yeah, they're rebranded.
I want nothing to succeed there.
They're rebranded as the Utah Jazz now. So you got the basketball team and you got the hockey team, both with the same name.
They really picked that?
Just like St. Louis? No, I'm starting that rumor. I've been starting it for 2 weeks now. It's just like St. Louis used to have the Cardinals for both, and New York had the Giants for both. Utah's picking up an old tradition that doesn't exist anymore, and they're going to be both the Utah Jazz. Spread
I like
that
the
word.
Storm and Mormons. Storm and Mormons.
Storm and Mormons. I think the Beehive or the Hive or something like that, because I guess like the bee, like Honey State or something like that.
Utah is a honey state?
Apparently.
All right.
Someone had a good hockey pun that tied into you. I forget what it was. I think it was a Mormon one too, but it was really good. I can't remember. The puck of Mormon. I don't know.
They could do that. You know how like they do for what's the Vegas team? The Warriors?
Golden
Knights, where the whole screen is just the whole ice is now an anime platform for them, where they always have. Like one time they had the night spearing when they were playing the Kraken, and you just see
it's a whole thing, man.
Yeah, they make all. That's what they got to do in Utah. They just turn the ice into a big LED screen, and they can just start animating all kinds of weird shit every day. It's that clip of John Smith from South Park where he's putting his head into the box and everything. It's like,
I'm the only one that can see this.
Bring on your team. It'd be so fun.
They do really cool stuff with the ice these days, man.
They do.
Live hockey games are where it's at.
They've come a long way from, remember in the late 90s when Fox introduced the color stream for the
They tried to do the glowing puck so people could pay attention better.
People were getting all pissed off and like, I don't care where the puck is. If they're over there, then I'm assuming the puck's over there,
right?
You know? But now, yeah, it's the Golden Knights, their intros to different teams, whoever they're playing, go online and become as big as those marching band videos where they're all in sync and they, like they're forming different shapes and designs while playing, Master P, as a band and things like that. So yeah, every now and then, whenever there's a new animation, that video goes out there. It's like, hey, look at the screen. Well, how'd the team look? Oh, they got their teeth kicked and they lost. But, at least the stadium looks cool and there's a lot of gambling happening. So good for
Speaking
them.
Of, shout out to the Atlantic Braves. There, we went on fireworks night and the whole fireworks display after the game was all set to Outkast music.
Nice.
Sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Going like that. Or they do AT Aliens.
That would be cool.
I can't remember. It was like a whole medley.
I'm sure they did Hey Ya because everyone does Hey Ya.
Fresh, so clean.
No, it's just his solo work he just put out where he was doing just the pan flute or whatever that was. I couldn't believe that.
I might actually go see that. It's like, look, it's just going to be their solo projects that people don't like set to fireworks. That might get me back in the stadium. All right, moving on with interactions. So that was Jay's whole scenario. Jordan,
I got a boogie, guys.
Oh, you got to run?
Yeah, I got my kid here. I got to make sure he's doing
everybody with the kids. Me, Jordan, you. I'm sick of it. it.
I'm neglecting mine. That's the commitment I have.
Me too. I don't know where she is, and it's probably
Put on
10
YouTube.
PM. Jay, give the plugs for everybody to find you.
Yeah, I mean, you can check out our 15 years worth of free episodes on all your podcast apps. Masters of None. Look for the red no circle there. There's like 2 podcasts that just popped up in the last year or two. Just like, yeah, we're just going to be called Masters of None too. It's a wild world, and join our Patreon, patreon.com/Masters of None. Get involved with the Sheetcast, baby. Get on board the future of podcasting. No ads.
Get that
all on a spreadsheet.
Get that sweet, sweet Google sheet that is just setting the streets ablaze.
I think I actually want to see ads on that. So you just like paste logos randomly in the sheet.
Dude, there's more ads in podcasts now than there are in commercial
really
radio.
If I see Blue Chew one time on that Google sheet, I'm out.
No Blue Chew. No,
I don't know what
Weird Airlines is going to hit up
these
though
ads on these podcasts. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear you bad mouthing advertisers.
He's going to. When he gets paid off is when you see that Spirit logo right at the top of that Google sheet. Be like, oh, he took the paycheck.
I will change that logo on the screen right there in a heartbeat if they decided to sponsor the show.
Heck yeah.
I gotta go make a phone call.
All right. Jay, thank you very much, my friend. We'll come back soon.
Man.
We'd love to talk to you.
All right, man. Have a good show.
Take care.
All right.
There you go. Oh, Pissy Pants Jay.
I couldn't believe I saw that story the other day and didn't know it was him.
Yeah, I saw
That is hilarious.
He had just posted it, and I reached out to him like, can you come on and let's talk about that? And that was Monday or something like that.
Yeah, it was like Monday, I think.
And
the
then
flight was.
I kept seeing it show up on other, those, do you get all those accounts on Twitter that are just engagement farming where they're showing kids fights or people fighting in a parking lot or people spitting out in intersections? It's like all this weird shit. That video showed up somewhere on one of those accounts and I went, oh, that's Jay's video. Somebody lifted it.
I think that's how I ran across it. It was on Twitter where it was just like one of those random ads. But like, again, I didn't put 2 and 2 together that was his video. That's really funny.
Why would you? Why would you care about what he does with his life? You're not a good friend.
I'm not on the Google sheet.
Yes, we're not on the Google sheet. We didn't get the update, so we didn't know. All right, Jordan had an interaction this week and involved one friend of our show, Kevin Smith.
Yeah, he's doing some touring. He was down in Tucson, Arizona, which is about an hour or so south of me. Mm-hmm. So got some tickets. Aaron and I and Scott, we went down to go see Kevin Smith perform live. First, we stopped off at a place called Lindy's. Super good. So if you're down in Tucson,
the icy place.
No, God, I wish it was an icy place. No, it's a burger joint. And I got a burger that had cream cheese and jalapenos and bacon on it to make it seem like it had the jalapeno popper on top. And I replaced the buns with grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Right.
And I sent that picture to you, and you're like, no, please don't.
Oh,
delicious.
Let me see if I can find that photo.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you can bring it up, that's one of the best hamburgers I've ever had.
All right, you vamp while I do that.
So after Lindy's, we kind of just walked. We checked out the venue, and it turned out to be like right down the street. So we walked over, went and saw Kevin Smith. Now, this venue in Tucson, I've been to before for concerts, for like standing room only concerts, and it works fine for that. This had folding metal chairs with like the padding.
Right.
In rows. And I'm like, oh, I got to sit through this in these seats. And they're the most uncomfortable. Now, we're about 2 rows from the stage. So Kevin's like right in front of our faces.
Okay, pause. So, I have the photo here.
Nice.
I just got to put it in the right folder so that we can. Oh, God damn it. It does that weird format that iPhone does.
What's it doing?
It's an HEIC photo.
So it won't work?
I don't know. I'm hoping it does. Let's see if I run it through this. Will that work? No.
Let me see if I can get you a better version of it. But, yeah, so,
It doesn't matter. We're so far past the hamburger. He had a hamburger with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on it. It was disgusting looking. But
it was
anyway,
wonderful.
It was not. It was terrible. Keep going.
You didn't eat it. It was good.
No, I saw it and I just assumed, and I would be correct.
Raspberry jam with some smooth peanut butter on there dripping everywhere.
It's not good. Like I understand certain cultures use peanut butter in savory ways. Like a lot of Thai food uses like a peanut sauce with chicken. And even I'm not that big a fan of it, but I can at least kind of understand it. I'm just going to do a screenshot of a screenshot so that this way.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to do it too.
And it'll be fine. I get it in certain things. People putting peanuts into salads or I don't know what else they would put peanuts in, like for food of that nature. But having peanut butter on a burger, it's not the first time I've heard of that, but still.
But have you had it before?
No. I don't want to try it.
It's good. It surprisingly works because you got the fat from the burger, you've got all that protein, and then you get a little bit of sweetness off the peanut butter. I was a skeptic too, and when I first had it, I was blown away. I was very surprised by how good it was, and it especially works with like bacon. You get all that fat. It was good. It was really good.
No, it's just
you're looking at it again.
It's just sounding so disgusting. All right, hold on, it's transferring over.
Oh, it's transferring.
All right, there we go. Let's move it to this folder. There it is. Okay. And enhance.
Like keyboard clicking noises.
Yeah. Where is the window? Wait, where did the window? Now I can't even find it. There it is. Sorry about that. There you go. Look at that.
So good.
No, that's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich
on both sides.
Down here too. Your burger, onions, peppers, and was that bacon?
Jalapeno, cream cheese, bacon, and I don't think it actually had any onions.
Dude,
I think that was it.
Too many flavors.
So good.
That don't go together. That's too much.
I beg to differ.
No,
it was
that's
fantastic.
disgusting. That is disgusting.
Now, this place also does, those Hostess like honey buns?
Yeah.
They also do that as buns if you want to get honey buns on for your burger instead. Now, that just seems weird to me, even though we're looking at
I don't want
a monstrosity.
Not everything needs to mix sweet and savory together. You know, I love people love doing that shit, but
So good.
it works in some cases. Not everything needs to be combined. It can just be its own thing. Peanut butter and jelly works. On bread, even better. You know, and you're like, wait, what? I would just assume it would be on bread. No, they have jars where it's mixed together. Or if you were younger in the 80s, you took a spoonful of the peanut butter, you took a spoonful of the jelly. If you didn't have any bread, you just ate them out of jars.
It's funny. Growing up, like I always wanted to have the peanut butter and jelly mix, the goobers, whatever it was. I never like it. The peanut butter consistency is weird. The jelly's off. Like, I don't know. You need to bring them together and not have them just in the same place.
No, this is terrible. So Blitz Mob saying
delicious.
Eric's so annoyed over peanuts is funny. Frankie Bronson's behaving and he says, yeah, peanut and meat works, but yeah, I agree. It's not an everyday burger.
No, not at all. This was an indulgence that I will not do again for a long, long time. Because I think the last time I had it was like 2 years ago.
It's just
so it's not something you want to have all the time. It's a novelty. It's a specialty chip, as it were.
Why do you hate yourself? I don't understand.
I love it. It was delicious.
Right. So you're at the theater. You're sitting in folding chairs a standing room, usually standing room only live venue. So you have the chairs there. You're sitting. You're about 2 rows away from Kevin on stage.
Yeah.
You had told us this. And Hollywood agent Rob Stark told me, he goes, I think you should text Kevin and let him know that Jordan's there. And I said, I think you're absolutely right.
Well, what I had done back, what was it, about a couple months ago, Rob went to go see somebody. And we were giving him crap. And you're like, I'm going to text to see if we can have
Bill
you
Burr.
meet up. Yeah.
Yeah, and I text Club Soda Kenny.
So you were texting Club Soda Kenny and Kenny's like, are you serious? Like, this can't be right.
Yeah.
Are you kidding that you have a friend here? And, you do.
Kenny sent me photos
right
of Rob in the audience.
So you tried talking Rob into going up to Club Soda Kenny to try to get a say hello with Bill Burr. And he chickened out.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I didn't do it.
I wanted to see if Kenny would...
Hello.
Kenny would look. Kenny's working, so I'm not trying to ever, mess with him working.
Mm-hmm.
But in this particular situation, I was like, you know what? It'd be great if Rob went up to Kenny and Kenny will play like he has no idea what Rob's talking about, and then maybe try to throw Rob out.
Right.
But Rob was too chicken to go over there and do it. Even though Kenny texted me later, your friend didn't come over and say hi. It's like, I don't know. I apologize to Kenny. I told him, and I don't know why he didn't. I think he chickened out and what have you.
Now, remembering that story that night, when we were sitting there, we're waiting for the things to come happen. There was no opener. There's no opening act for Kevin Smith. He can spin a yarn. He can fit in, he could do 4 hours and not break a sweat.
Right.
So we're sitting there, and before the show starts, I send you a text. I'm like, I send you a picture of the stage of where he's going to be, and I send you a text. I was like, hey, make sure you let Kevin know I'm in row this, seat C or whatever. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God, that would be hilarious.
I did. Now, I didn't hear back from him in this particular situation. I wasn't expecting it, but
right.
I sent him the photo of where you were sitting. And then I wrote to him and I said, hey, just letting you know, my co-host lives out there. He's at your show. This is his location. If he comes up to you or if you can say hi to him, his name is Josh.
Oh my God. Perfect. I hate you, but
that was for you, Cardiff.
That's the best bit ever.
His name is Josh. So
not gonna lie,
like he should have. He did not respond at that time. So
no, but and I didn't expect a response, and I didn't expect anything to happen. But there was a moment, I swear, because I'm sitting next to Scott, and there was a moment because he knew I was doing this to you, and we were just kind of laughing about it because you were like, "Yeah, I'll do it." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, of course you will." What the hell? Did you just see that? Look at this.
What? Your thumb's all red.
No, like a little bubble with a thumbs up just showed up on my video. That was, yeah. If it happens again, you gotta pay attention.
Wait, are you on a Mac?
Yes, but it's through Chrome.
Do the heart thing that I don't know how to do it. Do the heart thing.
Like that thing?
Move it away from your mic. No, up here.
It's not.
Stop moving. Do that. Yep. You have that stupid feature that kids do. I knew it. So I didn't know this was a thing.
I was doing a thumbs up.
My kid figured,
there it is.
My kid figured this out.
God, I hate these
was
internet.
trying to do the heart thing. I don't know where she saw that because I'm not teaching her that. And it showed up on the screen. So now family members, when they FaceTime with her, they do that thing on the screen. So I don't know what that feature is called. I don't even know how to turn it off.
I'm looking at it right now. It's built into Chrome, and it's called Reactions. I just turned it off. It shouldn't do it again.
It does it on FaceTime.
Yeah, it's not doing it.
So
weird.
That's hilarious.
I was just like, what the hell is that? So, yeah, someone...
I will have to do that. Go ahead.
Please do. So, halfway through his show, before I get into the rest of it, he stops. He's kind of resetting. And he grabs his phone, and for a brief second, I was like, oh, shit. He did text him, and this is going to be an embarrassing moment. Nothing happened, thankfully, and I just laughed. But yeah, I for a brief moment, I'm like, oh, this is it. I'm getting called out. This is going to be embarrassing.
Who's E-Rock's friend? And then he's mad at me, but he shits at you for me texting him.
Yeah. So, no, the show was great. Kevin, Kevin has this way of just... He'll start in one place and then he'll end up someone completely different, in his stories. And he had gone through some issues about a year back where he went down to Tucson and stayed at I wouldn't say it's like a rehab facility. It was more of like a, mental health kind of thing, retreat.
Okay.
To try to get some, depression issues taken care of. And he talks about it openly. So I'm not airing anything out on him or anything. So he was talking about how, just 20 miles down the road from where we're at, this is where I was. So he gets into a lot of some of that, which was, it was good. Talks about his dogs, and he just lost his dog, 6 to 8 months ago. He's talking about Shecky. And then he starts going and talking about his wife, Jen, who, by the way, as of I think today, they're celebrating 25 years together. Good for them.
Okay.
He, he's telling a story
Coming
about
up
how
after the break, celebrity birthday lists.
I saw it on Twitter when I saw it earlier. He's talking about how
you need to shut your mouth.
The man from Del Monte.
By the way, we'll talk about in segment 2. Matt Berry was on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Was he?
Yeah, for the season 12. All right, keep going.
So he's telling a story about how he had to go back to Jersey to do a Smod Castle event over at the theater in Red Bank he owns now. And so he gets on the plane, takes off, and he's incommunicado the whole time. He lands in Jersey, and his phone blows up the second he turns it back on. It's his daughter. She never texts him that late, so he was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Hey, just letting you know, everybody's okay." So it kind of freaked him out. And turns out she had slipped on something. His wife slipped on something, fell, and broke her hip. And so it was like a whole thing. She did rehab. She's walking fine. Everything's going on. So he's telling this story about it and how every time he flies now, she's freaked out that something bad's going to happen. And not seconds after he says that, someone stands up right behind me and goes, Kevin, we have to stop the show. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I turn around and some guy behind us is having a full-blown seizure, like just like sitting in his seat, leaning back, his eyes are rolled back, and he's having a seizure. That's when everyone becomes a doctor. It's like Twitter.
You turn around and go, shh. Or like in your Pee-wee voice, I'm trying to watch the show.
I'm trying to use the phone.
And he's sitting there and choking and choking and choking. It's like, Pee-wee, stop. Go ahead.
It was weird. It was one of those moments where then Kevin's like, okay. And he stops the show. He's up on stage. We're all down here panicking. This guy's having an incident. And Kevin's like, is there a doctor in the house? And I'm like, oh, it's just like the movies. And someone's literally asking, is there a doctor in the house? And of course, somehow there is a doctor. So he comes over and everyone's surrounding this guy. The show's at a complete stop. Kevin's, trying to like make light of what's going on to kind of keep everybody from panicking. But he's also like very intent on what's going on. And it was weird. Like, it was just crazy that he had told that story about something bad happening. And that second, that guy starts having a seizure. They ended up getting him kind of situated. They called paramedics. They got him on his feet and out the venue. And, everyone's like, oh, great, you're alive. And then, Kevin's like, well, I don't know where I go from there. And he had to just restart again. And it was just such a weird situation. I've never been into something like that where that's happened so closely.
Wouldn't it be great if you went full heel and he goes, the only one who comes close to dying at my shows is me. I cashed in on it. This was my idea to die during a special. None of you are allowed to do this.
He tells that story at the end of the set. So this was supposed to be from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. We didn't get out of there till 11:45. He just kept going, which is fine. It's Kevin Smith. But he tells the story about how, he had his heart attack, he did his stuff. And he's like, I was filming a special where, explaining how specials work. You do one set and then you do a second set and then they'll splice between the two to get the better reactions and stuff like that. He never got to film the second set because that's when he had the heart attack.
First one, yeah.
And then he tells that, he's like, hey, I know this is going to sound morbid, but that's how I want to die, on stage entertaining you fuckers. And he's like, it would be my greatest thing just to be telling jokes and then just drop right on stage.
He puts the mic back into the stand like this and he just stands there, puts his arms out and then falls backwards and boom, that's it. Done.
But yeah, that's basically kind of what he said. And he goes, I had the perfect opportunity and this fucker, and he's talking about his doctor, had to save me. And I was like, that's kind of funny. That's morbid. And then, of course, that guy is having his incident. And I'm just like, this is a weird night, man. It was interesting. But yeah, I had never been so close to an incident in my area like that in this small venue. It was nuts.
I like in the chat here, Trashitarian saying, is there a doctor in the house? But it's Dr. Steve, and now he's administrating palliative care. Steve doesn't even try to help. He's just his hospice instincts come in. Right. We just need to make him comfortable. And he's just holding the guy's hand and he's going, there. It's like, no, you can pull his tongue out so he doesn't choke and he's still up. No, he's too far gone. We just need to make him comfortable.
And that was the other thing. Of course, it becomes the internet
fluid.
It becomes the internet where everyone's got an opinion on how to take care of this guy before the paramedics or someone comes over. Right. So someone's like, make sure you check his tongue. Kevin Smith's like going, don't do that. I had a family member who had seizures and I helped them once and we put something in their mouth and then I got yelled at by the paramedics saying, are you an idiot? If they bite down and break it, they could choke. So don't do that. And then it was just weird.
Well,
everyone's just shouting out their suggestions.
Pen ready to stab him in the throat so he can open up the air hole. And
yeah. So yeah, it was a very, lively night down in Tucson seeing Kevin Smith. And I think I'm actually going to go back. I think he's coming out here in Scottsdale in August or September. So I might go back and see him again.
The last time I saw a live event for Kevin was, it was either Clerks. I think it was Clerks 3. They did it at the Paramount in, Asbury Park.
Gotcha.
There's a theater on a boardwalk right on the ocean, and we were there. I went with Brian, Walt, a few other people there, and it was good to he did a little bit before the movie, then did a Q&A after the movie, and it was a lot of fun. I haven't seen his new stuff yet, so I watched his Hollywood Babylon. Not Hollywood Babylon. What's the one he does from that bar?
Smodcast?
No, he doesn't do Smodcast anymore.
Oh,
long done.
I'm trying to think.
It's Fat Man Fat Man Beyond.
Yeah, it's Fat Man Beyond.
It pops up on the front page of my YouTube when they have a new episode. But yeah, I watched that one where it's him and Mark live from that bar.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, I like that show. Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, again, he goes off on stories. I think he's starting to kind of talk about mortality more and talk about how, his dad did certain things and how, he had his, moment where he finally saw his father as a person in a movie theater watching, Raiders of the Lost Ark. And, some of this stuff was a little repeated because, I've seen him do these, Evening with Kevin Smith type situations for years and years and years. But yeah, it is interesting to kind of see him evolve a little bit. But it's still Kevin Smith minus about 250 pounds. Man, he looked thin. And good. I'm like, good for you, man.
I have to check up on him and see some of the new stuff he's doing, what he's working on. Well, Jordan had an exciting time was it in Scottsdale?
It was in Tucson.
So, for the live Kevin Smith show. And we'll finish up this week in interactions with my story.
Yours is much better.
That happened this week. So I was driving to a store, and the store is on the left side of the road, and I'm on the right side of the road. And so you got to wait for traffic to go past so you can cross the double yellow and turn into the parking lot. Now, the parking lot has one-way entrance and a one-way exit, and the exit's on the other side, not by this area. The entrance is over here, the exit's down a bit over there.
Right.
It's one way. Can't go any other direction. So there's a car in the opposite lane that's looking to turn, and then they go in. So as soon as they go in and up the ramp, I start to turn. And as I'm making the turn, crossing traffic, the guy, I noticed all of a sudden has his reverse lights on. And he's backing down it's not like a giant ramp. It's a mini ramp.
It's like a little incline.
It's like maybe 2 feet ramp or something. He's backing down to go back into the street. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So I was laying on my horn, right? The guy maneuvers. Here's me sitting here. He maneuvers past the right side of my car, going backwards, tries to swing around into a parking spot for street parking. So he passed the spot a little bit. So the way he was going to angle this way, he's go up the ramp and then back into the oncoming traffic to try to get street parking instead of going into the parking lot for the store. So I'm like, what's going on? I can't back up. I'm half in the oncoming traffic and I'm half on the ramp. I can't move. He's swinging around me now. Like, he doesn't even move over to the side to let me go to the left and then pull up before he does his nonsense. He's pulling down the right-hand side of the car, and it's him and his dumb girlfriend she's on her phone, and he's just looking at me. He's just going like this. He's smiling. It's okay. It's okay. It's like I'm screaming. I'm like, it's not okay. Fuck you. Like, you can see me mad and screaming at the window. Right?
Now, I didn't ask the other day, were you by yourself or were you with the kid?
No, I'm by myself.
Okay.
Because I probably would not have acted this harshly if
I do that. Yeah, I do the same thing. There's a different version.
I want to point out, I said probably, not I definitely would not have. I probably
you don't know yet.
Wouldn't. So the guy pulls around, swings around, almost hits another car that's coming from the oncoming traffic thing, swings into the spot, and he's just going like this, calm down, it's okay, like that. I'm furious. So I go into the parking lot, I swing around the divider, the wall thing there, and I go and I find a spot. Because you're in the state of New Jersey, they don't provide you bags for anything. You have to bring your own bags to everywhere. Food or not, you have to have your own bags. They don't provide bags anymore. It's against the law. You have to have those canvas bags. So I go to the back of my car, I get some of the bags, close the back of the car, I'm walking up the parking lot. And I happen to see, diagonal from me, the guy is waiting outside the front entrance to the store. And he's looking down on his phone. So I stop for a second, I look, and I go, okay, this guy is looking for a confrontation because he's now pissed that I yelled at him for being an asshole. So I turn on my phone. I put it on video, and I go, all right, I'm just going to record myself walking through the parking lot. And I'm not going to directly confront the guy, but I will see what happens.
Right.
If he
you're leaving it up to him to say something.
Correct. If he says something, then I'll engage. If he doesn't, I'm going to continue on with my business. I said what I had to in my car because he was driving recklessly. So here is where we'll pick up with the video. It's not showing on here, is it?
I don't see it.
Okay, we'll do it this way. Okay, here's the video. There was a lot I was recording as I was walking through this, so I trimmed it down just to right as I'm getting to the front of the store here. So, sure the volume's good. Here we go. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay.
Not that serious, bud.
Yeah, it was.
Really not.
It really was. Busy intersection, you pull it and then back up.
Busy intersection is crazy because there's no cars.
Yeah, but you don't back up into a parking spot pulling into an entrance.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in front of you.
You are. Thanks for recognizing me. And there you go.
My favorite interactions that you do are the ones where you just like, because you actually sent me something today that basically is acknowledging stupidity, where like, I guess I'm the asshole and be like, yeah, thanks for acknowledging it. And then that's where you leave it. It's like very almost condescending the way you do it. Cause you did it today with someone was like, I just didn't understand something. It's like, yeah, you probably didn't like all the big words. And then your response was, yeah, I'm glad you understand it. Like you just you.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It took me a moment. Yeah. I think I have that interaction. I'm not gonna show it on the screen because I don't want to put that person's name up, but I did show it to you. It was a response to a video that said, "Stopped interrupting and trying to sound profound." It was my story I was telling, right? Involved somebody else, but in the story, but it was my story that I was telling. So it was like, stop interrupting and trying to sound profound. Now, I've had a bunch of these comments recently, and other shows have too, where they post and someone's like, just play the entire clip. Stop stopping it and talking about it. I understand you want to see the whole thing, but if you want to see the whole thing, don't watch these shows for the commentary then. Go find the clip and watch that and then, buzz off. Sorry for the harsh language, kids, but, buzz off if that's what you're looking for.
It's my favorite He-Man character.
Right. It was the stupid bee. Anyway. So it's like, just play the clip and then do your commentary. The clip's a minute and a half. There's parts of the video that you're breaking down and discussing. Also, for people who don't know, the reason why shows do that is because you don't own that content. So if you break it down that way, legally you're covered because it's fair use, it's transformative. You're allowed to use people's content if you're doing a reaction, a review, some kind of news reporting, that kind of stuff. That's why you do those things. Secrets. Just play the 2 minutes. No, go find it yourself. Find it or do your own show. Don't come back here. I'm telling you, don't come back here. I've been seeing clips a lot. Something's going on, but once in a while you get it from people who don't understand how a lot of this works, and they get upset with it. I get it. I do. I understand. But I've been seeing it a lot more lately. From comments from our stuff, comments from other people's stuff, compound stuff, whatever. I've seen people yelling at Anthony, just play the whole thing. Why do you have to keep stopping it? Because he's making a point. It's his show. He's bringing his thoughts and his points to it like any other show is doing. That's why you do that. This one you were talking about in particular, again, it's like stop interrupting and stop trying to sound so profound. I go, too many big words for you to understand? ? And he goes, yeah, that's it. And I said, well, glad that is resolved.
And that's the exact same thing you just did to this guy. Well, I guess I'm the asshole. Well, thanks for acknowledging. And then you move on. Yeah. It's that same reaction.
What am I going to do?
When you do it.
What am I going to do? Go there, take a swing at the guy? No. Start saying racial epithets at him? No. It had nothing to do with that stuff. He was an asshole. And he almost hit my car. And then he swung out backwards into oncoming traffic, almost hit another car. And that guy, calm down, it's no big deal. To you, it's not a big deal. To everyone else who was screaming. And here's what else got me, too. I didn't tell you this point, but I just remembered this. So while this is going on, a little further up from where this incident is happening is a crosswalk from the front of the store through the wall that separates the parking lot. So there's a crosswalk there. I happened to look up. There was a lady pushing a cart with her 2 kids, and she did that move that every parent freaks out about, that something's could happen. Grabs the kids and holds them by the head, like close to them like this as she's walking through the crosswalk. Now, I feel terrible, even though I didn't cause any of this thing, but I know that move and I know that look. I'm sure you do from being a parent. Mm-hmm. I feel bad that she feels that this might have been a situation. And that was the only thing I felt bad about. Everything else, go fuck yourself. That
that's
guy.
The end of the interaction, right? Like that was it. Like he didn't go to the same
guy.
Like, did he go to the store at the same store as you? And
well, I guess his girlfriend went in because she wasn't around. I saw her in the front seat, but she was not, when this situation happened, he was not around. And, she was not around. And here, I'll put it back up on the screen. This dude here, She was not around, so he was standing out there, so she must have run into the store for something. I didn't really recognize what she looked like, so if I walked past her or anything, I didn't know.
Gotcha.
This guy I did. I didn't remember what she looked like. I went in, I had to get a few things, and then I was expecting I'm going to run into him like near the registers, something like that. Nothing.
Just going down the bread aisle, just like cross paths, you just squint at each other.
Right. Nothing. He wasn't there. He was gone. So I was just like, all right. And I looked out when I walked out the one of the side things of the store where he would have been parking, the car wasn't there. So either he took off and he left, or they just grabbed one thing and disappeared. Never saw the guy again, so it doesn't matter. But the nerve that you're waiting out there, you pull some shithead moves that could have damaged or hurt somebody, right? Damaged cars, hurt somebody, caused an accident, whatever. And then if you're don't hang around, because that seems almost
like you're going to cause something,
right? But if you did, and you would go, hey, look, I'm so sorry, I want to apologize. That's the right move. In that situation, it's like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, you keep your distance, but you put your like, I'm sorry. That was stupid on my part. I apologize. I did something wrong. Whatever. He's like, wasn't that big a deal? Accepting no responsibility. Oh, traffic's crazy. There was nowhere to park. That's not my fucking problem. There's a parking lot that you were pulling into and decided not to because you wanted to try to find a street spot when there's a parking lot full of spots you could have went in and parked and avoided all this. But no, you want to come up and make a confrontation of this shit. He's like, oh, I guess I'm the fucking... It's like, you are. Thank you for acknowledging it. And then I just kept walking. Now, that's not how these videos usually go. Somehow there's a fight that breaks out. This video goes viral somewhere because, a white dude, a black guy, something, people jump on that shit. Mine just ends that way. And it's like, glad you acknowledge it, and walk away. Doesn't matter what the guy's race is. If you're on that other end, you'd be seething. Mm-hmm. If you understood what just happened, which I don't think this gentleman did. If you understood, you'd be seething. It's like, not only did this guy scream at me, he just fucking insulted me and I didn't recognize it.
Right.
And then he walked away like nothing happened. You'd be furious.
You're like, fuck it, whatever.
But nothing.
Asshole.
Nothing. So
yeah, I mean, that could have gone completely a different way.
Right.
I mean, good on him. Now, he fucked up. He didn't acknowledge it. But after you said that, he just let it go.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say, that was a very smart and level-headed thing to do. He's making mistakes, but in the one time where a mistake could have been a real big problem, he was smart enough to say, fuck him, I'm going to go.
Well, look, when I saw him hang around the front, I was just like, all right, he's going to confront me on this. So I turned on the camera, and I'm glad I did. Now,
smart.
In other cases, you could wonder, it doesn't matter, again, it doesn't matter the race, but he could have had a gun, he could have had a knife, he could have had something, he could have taken a swing, he could have done anything. Mm-hmm. So you had to be ready for whatever it is. And at that point, I was walking right to the front of the entrance, had the camera on while that interaction was going. I saw my out. I took the shot at him verbally, had my out, turned and walked into the store. Because when you walk into the store, there's security guards and everything. And now I'm not worried about that. But anything that happens at that point is now in the store, not in the parking lot.
Yep, you've taken it into an area where someone would have to...
Trying to diffuse the whole thing.
Right.
And that's how it ended.
Well, I'm glad you're not dead.
Me too. Honestly, when I was thinking about it later, it's like the dead part wouldn't have been the worst part of it. The worst part would have been if somehow that video was accidentally taken or misinterpreted as like some sort of hate crime.
Right.
Like racial injustice. And that video goes everywhere like Jay's P plane video. And then I'm just sitting there like trying to explain to companies I work for, just like, I wasn't attacking the guy. I don't know what, I even insulted him on the end. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Well, we're going to have to let you go because you said something mean to this person.
Okay, Jordan, weren't you on a podcast? Yeah, my co-host died because, he had to insult people on the internet.
I would have told you that episode would have, or whatever the last episode would have been, gangbuster views. But
it's true.
Anyway, well, that was my interaction today.
Again, good for you for, kind of diffusing with humor, because you could have reacted a different way as well.
Blitz Mob in the chat. If it went the other way, you'd be hearing Eric's frantic 911 call.
Help!
What would have the call been? I've been shot. I've been stabbed.
I don't know.
Guys attacking me. I don't know why I would be calling, because I would have been the victim of some sort of violence.
It's true.
It wouldn't have been me calling 911. They would here's some old lady that was in the parking lot.
The lady with her kids in the crosswalk.
Yeah. Well,
I just saw violence. Yeah, I don't know. Just sounds like an old Jerky Boys CD.
It's double coupon day at the store.
Hi, I'm Saul Rosenberg. I just saw an accostement.
I'm there for the can deals.
I saw a man get accosted in front of the Publix.
It wasn't even at a Costco.
Oh man.
Well, anyway, that's my story.
I can't wait till the next iteration of these stories, because every week is something.
I hope I don't have another one like that, but
I don't know. You've always got something.
I have invested in a dash cam.
Did you? Okay,
yeah.
I've always thought about getting one of those too. I keep watching people's dash cam footage. I'm like, that could be me.
Well, I'll say invested in the sense of that I'm going to try one. I didn't purchase one. I was talking about it after this incident, and a friend of mine said, I have one that I've never used. You can have it.
Okay.
Try it and see if you like it. So I have it. I think it's an older version. I'm going to try it and see how it is. And then I'll look if it works, it seems to function well. I'll leave that for a while and then maybe look at a newer one and get a newer one where I can do the front and the back.
Yeah. All my footage would just be me in the parent pickup line yelling at other parents who can't understand you have to stop for the crossing guard.
Right.
Like every week there's someone that just blows through and she's just standing there with a stop sign going, really? Really? I'm like, you fucking, I just want to yell at people's parents. I told my kid, I was like, I saw the kid getting into the vehicle. And I'm like, do you know that kid? No. Good. I don't have to stop you from being their friend.
You just go, no. And then Jordan floors the pedal and then goes screaming into the
takes
kid.
off a door. Yeah.
Most of his cam footage is just going to be him there, just trying to learn all the lyrics to the newly released Tortured Poets Department from Taylor Swift.
It's a double album. I don't have the time, Eric.
It's like, I've got a lot of driving to do. There's 57 songs on this thing. Where else am I going to get
Kardashian?
This done? And your daughter's trying to teach you the lyrics, and you're yelling at her, "Shut up! I'm going to learn it on my own."
Stupid. I like the one Post Malone in it. Nice
Blitzmob said, "I have a dash cam too. You forget it's there after a while. Just make sure that to swallow the SD card if the accident is your fault." Yeah,
they are small. You can probably get down.
I'll pop it out and snap right that, and then it's done. Throw it down a drainage ditch. It's like, I don't know what happened. Somebody stole the card.
I like the swallowing it like it's like cyanide pill or something. You like just.
It's like Mission Impossible. This footage
comes out of it.
Self-destruct in 5 seconds. You throw it,
exactly.
You eat it, and then all of a sudden, your stomach gets really big and small, and then smoke comes out your nose.
Your life's a cartoon.
That'd be so great if it was. So much better than it is.
Yeah, a lot easier.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, segment 2, plenty of stuff to tell you about for television, movie, all the streaming updates, video game stuff. It's going to be fun. We'll be right back.
It will.
More, it's Eric Nagel.
It's Eric Nagel.
Next.
It is here. Steven Singer has his brand new 24-karat gold dip rose for Mother's Day. It's the blood of the children who don't survive crossing the crosswalk. It's rose. What is this? Red wine.
Red wine.
The moms in our lives have put up with a lot. Some of us weren't angels. Right. So others were kiss asses and let them get their own gift. But for you, you got to make good on years of torment for your parent. Why not give your mom one of the best things you could possibly do this Mother's Day? Steven's brand new 24-karat gold dip rose in red wine. Look at that. Look at that. Drink it up.
Pretty.
Thirst trap photos. There you go. This deep, rich burgundy color rose will go perfect with the glass of wine she surely deserves, not while driving, but afterwards, because of dealing with you. Stephen's famous 24-karat gold dipped roses are real roses preserved and dipped in pure 24-karat gold. Enough about the 24-karat gold. Guaranteed to last a lifetime. Make Mother's Day extra special with a gift she'll love and appreciate every single day. A luxurious red wine, 24-karat gold dip rose. We get it. Just for $69. I forgot to pull the Bill and Ted drop again. Damn it.
How many carats is that gold again?
69. No, that's the price. 24 carats and 3 pieces of celery. We did all that part. Check out Steven Singer's entire collection of gold dip roses at IHateStevenSinger.com. Here's what I'm not understanding what he's doing lately. So he features a new rose color for whatever holiday's coming up, right? But then on his social media, they're promoting other new rose colors.
The blue color. Did you see that one?
The Frozen one.
Yes.
So he did a partnership with Disney for Frozen, and it's like a glittery white blue wrapped in gold and silver, gold, rose gold, platinum,
yeah,
all that stuff. I'm like, wait, so can we advertise the Frozen one? No, we're just doing the red wine. Okay. During Valentine's Day, we had the Valentine's Day one. What was it? The Malibu Pink one?
Yeah, the Malibu Pink.
And then he had the Care Bear partnership that he was doing.
Right.
What's going on, Steven? Pick a lane or just send us all of them. I'll just sit there and hold them like a big bushel of roses, and
Just
I'll peek over like the
gold.
wall and try to talk about the roses. What were you saying?
Nothing. Nothing important.
Nothing important. Speaking of nothing important, check out Steven's entire collection of gold dip roses. I know we said that already at IHateStevenSinger.com. Free singing. Gee, oh my God. If there was free singing, you walk in and they're just belting out show tunes. Steven comes and personally
It's like a mariachi band, like the Mexican restaurant. They're just like singing to you while you're giving out 24-karat hand-dipped roses.
Cinco de Mayo's coming up.
There you go.
Why not? You go in, they made some fresh guac and those corn chips that come in the plastic bag like at Chili's. You open them up, they're still kind of greasy, but they're salty and they're so delicious. Think about it, Steven. Free shipping, free personalized gift message from you, free serenade from a mariachi band, and free lifetime guarantee in stores only, by the way, for the mariachi band, exclusively and only at IHateStevenSinger.com. Their burgundy red wine rose. I think it was some sort of carat structure for the gold. Might be 24. Let's go with that. Go get yourself one of these for Mother's Day. And also, if you could, do us the kindness and tell Steven you heard about it on It's Erik Nagel. Thank you.
It's Erik Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Erik Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itseriknagel.com. It's Erik Nagel. It's Erik Nagel. He is back.
Segment 2 of the show. Eric Jordan here with you, going through television, movies, streaming updates, filling you in on all that gobbledygook so that you're not looking at stuff and it's like, I don't know what to watch. There's too much stuff.
I'm flabbergasted.
I don't know what to do. We're going to tell you what to do. And as we start segment 2, we always tell you about things that we watched personally. Jordan, what did you watch this week?
I finished up Fallout. 8 episodes of just awesome television. I highly enjoyed it. And even people who aren't into the video games or have any history with the video games will enjoy this. I don't think you really played. Yeah, exactly.
I had no history with the game, and I really enjoyed the entire series.
Right. So I finished it up last night. Super fun, super kind of bleak, but also just it was just well done, like a well done adaptation of something. Very much enjoyed that. And then I got through 3 of the 4 episodes of Conan O'Brien Must Go. I think I just finished out the Thailand one.
Okay.
I was learning how to the kickbox. I know
that the one where he's also in the boat going down the river for the markets?
Where he buys the giant black dick and
the rubber chicken.
And the kid who was like floating by on the other way. And he's like, oh, dude, nope. Can't show that as a kid. Super funny. It's got one of the best intros. I love, the intro with Werner Herzog doing stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it's super funny. I have one more episode. I believe it's Ireland. I'll probably watch that within the next couple of days. I've been kind of spacing them out. My kid actually really enjoys watching some of these like travel and food shows with me, and he likes Conan O'Brien, so we can kind of watching that together. And then I made my way to the movie theater and watched Abigail, the little vampire ballerina princess movie from the makers of Ready or Not.
How was it?
And it was fantastic. It was fun. It was just like a fun, just dumb, like almost 90s-esque, B movie. Actually, it was really good. Not terrible. The plot wasn't super crazy. There was nothing too hard to follow. It's just, they kidnapped a little vampire girl who, they didn't know she was a vampire. And then they're stuck in the house. Because it was the makers of Ready or Not, it felt like Ready or Not. Because same thing.
Ready or
stuck
not,
in the house.
Here I come.
Right. And the Fugees were there. And it was weird. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I would say go out and see it, but nothing stays in the theaters. You'll probably have it on video on demand within 2 weeks.
All right. Well, I might actually give that a chance. Take a look at that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's very bloody.
For me,
very violently bloody.
For me, I also watched Conan Must Go. I watched all the episodes. And very smart on Max's part that when you hit the last episode, it automates to the next series. Usually it tries to match up or whatever the current thing is. They try to play after whatever you watched. It went immediately into Conan Without Borders for both seasons of those.
I love that one.
And I watched all of those too. And it was
how many were there? Because I forget. Because I know I can only think of like 2 or 3 episodes
like
off the top of my head.
7 in each season, so like 14 episodes.
Oh, okay, good.
He went to Armenia.
I remember that.
To South Korea. He was in Ireland. He was in. I'm forgetting all of them now. Was Argentina the Must Go one? Yeah, Argentina was the Must Go
where
one.
he's playing soccer. Yeah,
I forget now, but there was a lot of them.
That's okay. I'm gonna go check it out. I loved them. So
yeah. So all the Conan stuff, as far as his travel stuff, is available there. And then I went and finished season 12 of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which was
how did that end?
Very good. Very good. I will say this. The last 2 episodes you're going to see look very similar, if not shot for shot, of the ending of a previous show that he might have worked on.
Oh, no.
But there's some changes to it. And
okay.
It's
I think I know where you're going with
it's
it. And
fantastic.
That was going to be my question because I know he was heavily into that other show. He was a writer. He was a collaborator and all that stuff. I was wondering how he was going to end this series and if it would have been close to what that ended up doing.
You'll like what it turns out to be.
Okay.
You'll like what it turns out to be.
I'll need to catch up, but
it was a lot of fun. I watched the rest of the series after you and Rob left from No Man's Sky, and I was trying to decorate my new playroom on my freighter there.
I like when you say those kinds of things because you make it sound like, oh, we ditched you around 9 p.m. No, I didn't go to bed last night until like almost 1:30 in the morning, and that's when you decided just to, my time.
So this is like
4:30 in the morning, your time.
Yeah. So yeah, you left, and I was trying to finish up Curb, and I said, you know what? I'll just redecorate some of these things here. I did a little remodeling on my freighter, and then I went to bed. But it was time well spent, at least as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, having a good time.
So Curb season 12, fantastic. Cannot recommend it enough. All right,
okay,
let's move on to what's out now in theaters. What is Challengers?
Challengers is a Zendaya movie where I guess she's a tennis player and then she kind of gets hooked up with these 2 guys and then she ends up hurting herself. And now one of the guys she's dating kind of becomes like this top shit, tennis player. I don't know too much about the story. A lot of people were going just ape shit for it because apparently there's a threesome scene between her and 2 of the guys.
That's what I just asked. Yeah.
So that's the selling point I would assume. So but that's out now this week in theaters.
Let's see if
you're writing it down.
No, I'm looking it up because I'm sure it's somewhere.
Yeah. It's like her sitting on a bed. She kisses one guy. She kisses the other. And then like they're kissing her neck. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's it?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie yet.
All right, I want to see if she goes skiing down the slopes. But apparently not. So Challengers in movie theaters right now for your viewing pleasure. Out on demand, Monkey Man.
A movie I just saw about a week and a half ago. Already on video on demand.
Dune Part 2.
Yep.
Isn't that on... No, it's not. It's not on Max yet. Dune Part 1's on Max.
No, because they haven't put it the physical release yet. That's what they're doing. They're putting everything video on demand first. Then they'll do a physical release and then streaming.
Good.
So,
all right. And then Immaculate.
That's that Sydney Sweeney, she's a nun, gets pregnant movie that literally was just in the theaters. I mean, it's probably still in the theaters right now. Same with Monkey Man.
It's amazing.
Like nothing lasts anymore.
There's no rhyme or reason to this shit anymore. Just because it's like, if it does great in the theaters, they leave it for a while. If it doesn't, yank it right away. We can't even let it try to gain its money back by keeping it in the theater for 2 months.
Well, and I think what they're doing is that they'll let it sit there for about 2 weeks and then they'll throw it on video on demand. So it gives you the option to, like, if you don't want to go here, you can still see it here. Because video on demand, you're paying almost $20 to rent it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, thank you. I'll spend my $11.
Yeah, but I mean, you knew that it was in the theaters for a while. Then you knew some movies took months before the physical release came out. Others were like, all right, it's leaving the theaters this week. So probably in about a week or two, maybe up to a month, you could go to Best Buy and get the physical release because they'd have it right there in the front in a display for whatever the new movie was that week.
Right.
Now you can't figure it out. It's like, all right, the movie's doing great. Oh, yeah, you can get it on iTunes right now. What? Why is it? Why? It's still in theaters. Yeah, they just put it out now. Okay, is what it is.
Yeah.
Over at Peacock, Orlando Bloom to the Edge. What is that?
It's like one of those shows where he's going off and doing adventures. Like there's one episode where he's learning to do the wingsuit. Does he really
think he's a pirate?
I don't know. But I think the first episode is like he's learning to use a wingsuit, one of those little things that little flying squirrel people go and flying through canyons.
Yeah.
And then, it's just like a series of just adventures for him.
Besides pirates, what else was Orlando Bloom in?
He was just in Gran Turismo. He's been in Kingdom of Heaven.
He wasn't in
He was in Lord of the Rings.
That's what I was starting. All right, he wasn't in Lord of the Rings, right? Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was Legolas.
Okay. He was legless? Wow, just rolling around
legless,
down the mountains where the trees are running? That's not safe.
So yeah, it's like a little adventure story with him in it.
Drive Away Dolls?
It was one of the Coen brothers made a movie. They're not doing movies together now, so I think it was like Ethan Coen. It's like two lesbian chicks grab a rental car going across country, and turns out the rental car was supposed to be picked up by like a mob guy, and there was something in the trunk, and it didn't really do too well in the theater, so it's now streaming for free on Peacock.
Frankie Bronson in the chat's talking about Orlando Bloom, saying, and his ex-wife is Miranda Kerr. Yeah, correct. She is gorgeous, but his current wife is Katy Perry, who is also...
she's annoying.
She's... Really?
I find her annoying.
Did you get mad because she posted the photo with her Cybertruck?
No, I find her... I saw a video of her. She was doing some stage show, and she was trying to do a handstand. She looked like a moron.
Well, they all look like... Look, you ever see Taylor's thing? Taylor doesn't dance. She just walks like she's doing aerobic walking, and everybody else performs around her.
Oh, I know.
A lot of those pop stars don't even do their own shit anymore. They dance.
Let's see, on the opposite end, I watched... I think Jennifer Lopez came out doing a dance thing with a cane. And I'm
she was a choreographer, too. It's like she danced.
She was a fly girl.
Yeah, she was the choreographer for the Fly Girls.
Yeah, in Living Color, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she can dance. She can do all that stuff. But anyway, Katy Perry, quite lovely on the eyes.
Yeah, she's fetching.
Anyway, she is fetching indeed. Chris is saying, do karaoke, Eric. You know you want to. I do not. I will let you handle that. You can do that for me.
Come on, baby. You're a firework. Do it.
Moving on. Max, HBO Max. We talked about Conan O'Brien Must Go. That's available there. Velma Season 2. Because Velma Season 1 was such the appeal to the mass public that has no Scooby-Doo in it. And apparently she's lesbian in this one. And
I got 2 episodes in and I gave up on Season 1. And when they said they're going to do Season 2, I don't know who they're appealing to. Like, everyone hated this.
Well, this is progression. If you don't like this, then you need to move on because Scooby-Doo has moved past you.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo isn't for you
Isn't
anymore.
for you
It's not made
anymore.
For you.
I love that shit. Dealing with Doctor Who
worst.
fans and other stuff. Well, maybe the show's not for you anymore. We've progressed and we've moved on. No, the show's... Look, I'm not dumb. I know Doctor Who has always been very progressive. Even back in the day with the original Doctors. It was pretty progressive. I have no problem with that. It's the fucking... You know how they say, oh, you're gaslighting me?
Yeah.
You're kind of gaslighting me into saying this is what happens on Doctor... It's like, no, it doesn't. And the current Doctor with the trailer that came out, which I'm calling him Dr. Fabulous now, his big, rough and tough, threatening phrase against an alien force. What was it? Something about
I will burn I will burn it all down or something like that.
It's like I will turn your silly little battlefield to dust. You hear me? To dust. And you're like,
you're not threatening.
You're prancing while you're doing it. You're doing jazz.
Oh no, the
hands.
Doctor's mincing again.
Yeah, he's jazz handsing it up. The actor, I'm sure, is fine. People loved him in that Sex Education show on Netflix. But the more they show of this stuff, and it's just like it's swish swish bish because it's just like there's no manliness at all in this show anymore. None. They took the sadistic, the dark, and the terrible stuff about the Doctor, which was the most interesting and enjoyable stuff. Mm-hmm. They separated the character. There's another form of the character that has all that burden, that is trying to live a good life, and he's happy-go-lucky, not a care in the world, and he's just going to go jet-setting, and everything's going to be fine. And you go, this is a terrible premise. Well, we need to progress more as a society. Okay, and then when Disney realized we fucked up spending millions of dollars on this thing, because this is not the show that we were told for over a decade that the world loved.
Right. Moving on, because
anyway,
you can
Velma
do this all
season
night.
2, all 10 episodes on Max, and then Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1.
Right. So you know how we really like.
Is this the animated one?
The animated one.
The old one.
No, this is a newer one. So they did a Part 1. So Part 1's now streaming on Max, and Part 2 just released on video on demand, or you can buy a physical release.
So this isn't the other animated one.
Nope, this is new.
Ooh.
Within the past weeks. And I know you and I both love those Warner Brothers DC comic.
The animated
cartoons.
DC movies are great. Everything else DC makes that's not the animated movies has been terrible.
Right.
The animated movies have been great.
So this is a Part 1 available to stream. Yep.
Over on Shudder, Late Night with the Devil. So it's out of theaters. It's back on now on their streaming service, not back on. New episode of Disney's Marvel's X-Men 97, which seems to get... I'm seeing that talked about every week on a lot of blogs.
Every week is a great... It's perfect.
I'm trying to avoid everything because I'm not anywhere near that season yet, so I'm just trying
I'm 6 seasons behind. Don't spoil it for me.
Correct. And then, starting next week on the 30th, PlayStation 5 Sea of Thieves for PlayStation fully. But right now... I think it was 5 p.m. today or some early access, the beta testing or whatever they were doing.
No, so if you
they did the beta
deluxe
testing
edition, you get in
the early access.
Yeah, so you get in 5 days early.
So we have to hop on and see if there's more people playing.
I have it on my Steam Deck now, so I can play wherever.
And then let's start destroying some noobs as we welcome them to the harsh world of pirating.
There you
go. All right. So Sea of Thieves, all this stuff can wait for next week because that's for May. Moving on to entertainment news and what have you and what not. Taylor Swift's made a mention about that earlier. The Tortured Poets album set Spotify stream records, breaking 1 billion streams in a week.
Right.
Here's what
5 days.
I know her fans are going nuts. And I know her fans are I've seen all the videos of them freaking out and not mentally able to handle the amazingness that is Taylor Swift. But she did something last week where she was on iHeartRadio and they had it all around. I know they did it out of New York or something, but they had a on-air listening thing with Taylor that I guess they pre-recorded. and it aired like 1:30 in the morning on the East Coast.
Sheesh, why?
I don't know, but it did. And then, lo and behold, so they play the whole album, or cuts of the. I don't remember. I didn't hear it, but I was reading the description of it. So iHeart had her. They did a whole thing. At the end of her special, she announced a surprise, and that the surprise was that the album is a double album.
Right.
So now you're 1:32 in the morning, and now you're playing the second album to a fan base that is either 15 or perpetually 15. They're
Right.
not up at that time to listen to this thing live. Now, somebody's recording it. Somebody's put it out online. You know, people watched it the next day or the day after, whatever. They watched it at a more convenient time. Why do this at 1:30 in the morning? Then releasing the second album when everybody, her whole fan base, had pre-ordered the first album. So now they ordered the first album. They can now order the second album, or you can get the package that has both albums.
It's like 31 songs.
So how pissed would you be for a band or an artist that you love? They kind of swindle you by doing this event, a live, promoting it as a live album listening party. It's going to be on the radio. You can hear that, and we'll all hear the stuff for the first time together. I get the experience. I understand that. But leading up to that, you had people pre-ordering the first album, paid in full, waiting for the album to be released.
Actually had something like that kind of happen.
And then you have the second album. It's, we're doing two. So now you could buy the first and separately, or you can buy them together. So now these kids, young adults, broken women of elder age, spending money on individual albums, plus now the double album. That seems kind of shitty. That's not the big surprise where it's like, hey, she's teasing the album. We're going to listen to the album. And when the special's done, we can open up to pre-order. Okay. And then at the end of the special, she announced before the pre-order, it's a double album. You can order a double album now. That I get. All the fanfare, the drive, the hype, the build up for it. Yeah. But you already sold goods for one thing. And now it's like, oh, it's actually more than that. You're going to have to pay more for another thing. And maybe, I don't know, maybe she threw a couple extra tracks if you bought the double version. So now if you're a diehard fan of hers, you got to buy all three of them? That seems kind of shitty.
So Blink-182 with this last album they released did the same thing. Not quite as big as what she did.
Right.
So I got the album, got the vinyl, and then Travis, like 3 days after the album dropped, he goes, I'm feeling squirrely. Let's release another track. A track that doesn't exist on this physical release I own, that I cannot get streaming. I have to buy the album again from their website to get this track I've never heard. I still have never heard it because I'm not buying another fucking album to get one track. That's shitty.
That's very shitty.
I love them. That was a shitty move because it's not even available streaming.
Blitz Mom in the chat. Listening to music sure seems complicated.
Feels that way.
It's never been easier to find the music that you want. But then is this what they think? Oh, we have to do these kind of things in order to drum up promotion and get people going because it's too easy for people to get what they want. We have to make it a little complicated to try to make our money. Fuck you. If I was a big fan of somebody and they pulled that shit, unless I'm really that unless I really have that low self-esteem that I would go and spend all the money. It's like, well, they kind of fucked me over, but I like them. I'll still support them. I'd be like, screw you.
Yeah, no, I didn't do it.
Cancel my order, whatever I'm doing there. And guess what? I'm not going to the concert now, which I know you make your money off of merch and ticket sales and all that shit. I'm not supporting you anymore because you just look, fans are fans. I know a lot of them are dumb and a lot of them are great. But when you're intentionally trying to fuck them over to make money instead of coming up with promotional opportunities to make money, there's a difference.
Right.
I'd be pissed if I was a Taylor Swift fan.
What she should have done and what would have been better is that, hey, we just played this album. I hope you enjoyed it. Surprise, surprise. In 2 months, another one drops. It's a double album, but we're spacing them out.
If you pre-ordered the album,
you can
already,
upgrade for like $5, $10,
or just say like you're getting the double album because you didn't know. If you want to get it in stores, it's available tomorrow. You can go and buy the double album. Like that's how you work it out.
Right.
Make it a surprise. Like you already pre-ordered the album thinking it was one. No,
Congrats,
it's actually two.
Yeah,
that works. Maybe you could get away with if you add $2 to the thing, $5 to the thing. But that's still kind of shitty too to make somebody go that extra step.
Right. Now that mainly hurts the people who are physically getting that stuff. I mean, anyone's doing like Spotify or whatever, they're getting all that stuff anyway.
Every Taylor Swift album comes with their free Stanley Cup.
Right. By the way, that trend came and went. My daughter got 2 of them for Christmas. She doesn't care about them whatsoever.
I still see women walking around with them.
Yeah.
But
they're not as crazy.
No, everybody.
But yeah, releasing a double album that way kind of really does screw the people who want the physical media. It is kind of shitty.
All right. Moving on from that. So Taylor Swift, but look, 1 billion streams in a week.
Oh, it's huge.
That is huge. Moving on. Fallout. We mentioned Fallout time to time on this show. Fallout has announced season 2, and it will take place in the New Vegas setting. If you're familiar with the franchise, the game, it's there. There are some concerns because apparently in the game, you have 4 different endings in the video game that you can, based on how you play and what you're doing, you have a different ending. It seems to be speculation that the way to resolve this is that they're not going to choose any of the endings and go with something completely new or different or tie it into something else.
Which I think they should totally do.
Which won't affect the game continuity and it won't affect the continuity of the show.
Well, here's the thing. This show, it's taking place in the Fallout universe, but it's not trying to retcon anything. It literally just exists as if it's a video game itself, which means this show takes place in 2296 after the events of Fallout New Vegas, which means when he goes to New Vegas, it doesn't have to follow the video game. It doesn't have to follow these 4 endings. It doesn't have to adhere to the structure that they built in that game. It doesn't have to do anything.
Line them up like glue. It's like, you know, the ending. Well, that's how it could have happened. Or maybe it was this. And then you go to that ending and that ending.
Oh, please, red herring.
Yeah. And all those 3 endings were great. But here's really what the ending was. And then you pick the 4th ending. And then that's how you do it.
I just cast a Clue remake. Matt Berry plays the Tim Curry role.
As Wadsworth?
Yes. Wouldn't that be awesome? That would be, if you're going to remake that movie, Matt Berry is the Wadsworth.
That is a fantastic.
I don't know who else you cast, but Matt Berry is the guy.
I hope they don't put like Jane Lynch in there, even though she seems like she would be good for what was the old lady?
Mrs. White.
Miss
Peacock. Miss Peacock.
Peacock, yeah. Don't cast her.
But
Matt Berry as Wadsworth
would be fantastic.
Would be very good. Tom Hanks as Mr. Body.
That would be pretty cool.
He's not in there that long.
No, just shows up, gets his paycheck, gets out.
Yep, in and out. And it's a name. You can put a big name in there.
You still put Jane Wyden as the singing telegram girl, but she's much, much, much older.
They roll her up.
She's
from Go-Go's,
telegram. Right? I believe so.
Was she Go-Go's or the Bangles? No, she was Go-Go's.
No, she was Go-Go's. Yeah.
All right, back to Fallout stuff. Fallout 76 has seen a huge boost thanks to the television show, with over 1 million players either coming or returning to the game. That's insane for how long that game has been out to have that big of a jump because of the television series. Good on them. Now, this leads into the next thing that they had a mod that was ready to go where it was like Fallout London, and then that got pushed back. And it could be years before that even comes out again because they're working on redoing stuff now.
Yeah.
Here's what Bethesda did terribly. When they sold the options for the game franchise to make the television show, They should have been working on something, even if it was DLC content or whatever, to go with the show. Because if the show was going to take off, yeah, but you could say, well, we don't know if it was going to be a success or not, but you should have done it anyway.
Yeah.
Put it out there. It's like, hey, we have some new downloads for these games because you like the show, whatever. There's new content. They're missing millions of dollars because of this. They didn't have the merchandising right. They didn't have a lot of this shit right. You're going to see Funko making a ton of money. You're going to see the people who make the costumes and props for cosplay, because we're going into con season. So San Diego's going to be full again with Fallout stuff. New York's going to be full of Fallout stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All those companies that have those licensing will be making a ton of money. But Bethesda could have made a ton of money off their video game stuff, even if it was a remastered version, which remastering doesn't take that long anymore to do to a video game. Remaster one of the games and say, hey, because of the show, we remastered Fallout 4. Here you go. Newer graphics. It's still, sort of the same gameplay, newer graphics, new all this stuff, some DLC shit. They'd be making so much more money, but this was poorly thought out, and probably someone's going to get fired because they can't capitalize on this. Now, they can do it on season 2.
Yeah.
But they can't do it for season 1. It's not like Disney where they didn't have the Yoda stuff not the Yoda stuff. What's the baby Yoda? Grogu stuff in production because they didn't want the spoiler.
Yeah, they were trying to hide that.
And Disney can afford to take the hit on the money and make it up at another place. These companies can't. They should have been there front and ready, whether the show was going to sink or swim, to put some new stuff out there and roll the dice to make sure that they were going to make tons of money. And they had Microsoft backing them.
Right.
But speaking of that, Bethesda announced Fallout 4's next-gen update in 2022, and then it's finally here after a long delay. The massive updates add very little to the PC version if you play it on PC. The update itself is 14.5 gigs.
Yep.
That is a lot of space.
Yeah, on Steam, when I downloaded it on my Steam Deck, it was about 14, almost 15 gigs total.
Right. It causes a lot of issues for people, and it's also a problem for people who are modding the game. It causes issues for loading mod saves, and it isn't compatible with non-creation club mods. I don't know what that means, but if you're into this world, I'm sure you do. It includes breaking the Fallout 4 script editor, which many other mods rely on. So the main program or the coding they're using to change the game to play it in different ways is broken because of this update, and who knows when they'll get around to fixing this.
If they do.
Exactly. So if you liked playing this game but you were using your own stuff with it, if you download that update, you're fucked. So again, Bethesda screwed up and missed the ball with all of this stuff. Bartholomew said, yeah, it's totally fucked over the Fallout London mod, which was scheduled to release on the 23rd. Yeah, I saw only some conceptual art for it.
Yeah.
Looked kind of cool. Like it was a vault system in London.
Yeah, which is something like you don't really think about. Like you think about these games, and a lot of them take place just in the U.S. You've got Fallout 4s on the East Coast, you got New Vegas, you got all these things, and then you're like, what happened to the rest of the world? Like you can keep this franchise going.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, London mod would be cool.
So that's all going on with Fallout. Now, let's go, and Bethesda. Let's go to another Microsoft company, Blizzard and Activision. BlizzCon 2024 has been canceled.
Yeah.
So Blizzard Entertainment has announced that the 2024 con has been canceled, although the company does not have plans for future live events this year. While there won't be any in-person or digital BlizzCon events for the year, Blizzard is promoting that events will return in future years, although it may be in a different format. They don't know what's going on. Conventions are dying out.
They are. And BlizzCon was charging a ton of money. I know Giddles and I were talking about attending this past year in 2023, and we were looking at just day passes for $300 some odd, and we're like, no, that's not happening. He was going to try to get in for free using his friend. I wasn't going to pay that. Not for a con. Not for a con specifically centered on like 4 video games. It was ridiculous.
As big as some of those companies are, it's not enough content to hold a convention like this.
No.
Like Twitch can kind of get away with it, or what's the YouTube one? VidCon or something?
VidCon, yeah.
because you've got different creators, different performers, all that. So they're the content.
Exactly.
It's not like going to a convention that has this movie's debuting. This television show has cast here for interviews. This thing is going to have a demonstration on the floor. These are new exclusives for Funko and for NECA and for, all those kinds of, like, you have different parts to make up a convention that makes it worthwhile. New York and San Diego. BlizzCon was like, yeah, here's our games, and it'll just be all about our games. That's not enough to justify that price. If it was like $100, you would like, okay, yeah, that's fine.
I would have considered it, yeah.
But for the prices they're charging, it's like, you do not offer enough content, and I don't care how many different versions of the same thing you have, to make it worthwhile for people who travel across the world to go to these things. It's not just like, oh, I live near Anaheim, I'm going to just show up at the convention center and go to this thing. You got people traveling, spending tons of money to get there, then to spend tons of money to get in for not much in return at these conventions. And you've seen conventions dying out. E3 died out. What was the other one?
I mean, San Diego Comic-Con has kind of wavered. I mean, they haven't been doing a lot of the big Hall H or stuff like that. Like they
had really no Hall H stuff last year.
No.
And like Disney owns a majority of these properties that were big Hall H content for that Saturday night. So they do it at D23. They do it at their celebration, which is just Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
And they do, like, I think they did a Marvel tease with the popcorn bucket and something else recently. What convention was that at?
Oh, shit.
Remember they did a surprise little pop-up thing? Fahey was there and talking about Deadpool.
Yeah, they were just doing it. I don't remember actually.
Yeah, so but that was at a smaller thing. So, but that was
it was the one in Vegas that just happened.
CinemaCon, right?
CinemaCon. Yeah.
So they did the one mention there for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do their whole big lineup of surprises like they normally would do. Conventions are dying out. Like there's unless you're going shopping, there's no reason to go in there. I think people have had it. We say this a lot. The forced pandemic lock-in reprogrammed a lot of people.
Yeah,
and when we came out of this, they started to realize what was important and what they didn't want to waste their time with anymore. So spending all this money to hang around the floors of Comic-Con and things like that, it's not worth it to them anymore. When half the time, hey, it's a Funko exclusive. It's going to be at the con, but you can also buy it from our website.
Right. Which they're doing for Chicago this week.
Why am I going to buy it there? Oh, the sticker's different. Well, you know what? That doesn't mean as much anymore now. You want the item, not the sticker, to make it more valuable, whatever. People are just starting to prioritize what's important to them and what isn't. So going to conventions, who cares anymore? I will be at New York Comic Con this year, just so you know. I'm not going to be, I'll be in San Diego, but I'm not going to San Diego Comic Con this summer. Moving on, Lord of the Rings trilogy is going to return to theaters. Oh, it's a Fathom event. That makes sense. Yeah. Our team, Fathom and Warner Brothers are teaming up to release the fantasy blockbuster this summer. The versions screened will be Jackson's extended editions. So you've got 9+ hours of Lord of the Rings goodness for you in the movie theaters. Probably
more than that. I think that third movie's almost 4 hours total. Extended.
Okay, so and also the
diapers, everybody.
Yeah, it's the extended editions and also the versions that they remastered in 2020 for 4K Ultra HD releases. Yep. This is the first time that the remastered versions will be in theaters. The screenings will start with 2001, The Fellowship of the Rings on June 8th, then The Two Towers on June 9th, followed by Return of the King. No one saw that coming. On June 10th.
The Hobbit.
Also, Warner Brothers' up-and-coming anime film, The Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim?
The War of the Rohirrim.
The Horse Riders. Which tells the story of Helm Hammerhand. That's a pretty good porn name. King of Rohan, who ruled over 250... Well, anyway, he's part of the books or something. So that's all going to be happening. Releasing December 13th. And you can buy tickets now for the first 3 movie re-release if you go to the Fathom Events website. You can get your tickets now. I enjoy watching those now and then. I'll pull them out and I'll spend a weekend watching them. I don't know if I want to sit in the theater for that.
Like I always say I want to. It's like I like the extended editions. They're superior, but I've only ever watched them at home, obviously. I like the behind the scenes. I don't know if I'm willing to sit that long in a movie theater anymore.
Yeah.
And I like going to the movie theater. I just that's a struggle, especially if you want to do all 3 days, because you're spending a good portion of your time there.
Backtracking real quick, Tom from Alberta. There you are. I didn't see you all night. The con-goers realize that they don't need to attend these things anymore. And that is
no
true.
Exclusives.
And our pal, the Girk, he spells it with a THA. Con-goers don't want to stand in lines for hours on end.
You got to compose yourself for a second.
That is a very good point, Mr. the Girk. All right, moving on. The movie If. It's about imaginary friends. IF. Get it?
I get it.
Starring Ryan Reynolds. What I didn't know until today, that it's directed by John Krasinski.
Mm-hmm.
Had no
and
idea.
written by him, too.
It was a John Krasinski joint.
Yeah, written and directed.
Here's what's interesting. It's tracking to make $40 million at the box office during its opening weekend. The movie doesn't come out for another few weeks.
Yeah.
And they're already predicting what it's going to be for opening weekend. Yep. I don't know how they do that. I don't know the analytics and the math involved for that.
I don't know either, because I've seen stories where it's like Variety is reporting this movie released this weekend is on track to finish up, at a certain amount. It made this much money on Sunday. I'm reading this at 9 a.m. on a Sunday. I'm like, how does it know that the theaters are going to report this? I don't understand how any of the analytics work here. Like, it's always weirded me out.
It's tracking, as the kids say, for $40 million. The movie stars Carrie Fleming, Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski, who's, I guess, in the movie. Look at that. Fiona Shaw, Alan Kim, Liza Collins-Zayas, and Bobby Moynihan, the guy who steals O&A material for Saturday Night Live.
I liked him in DuckTales.
I did too. He was good in there. The voice cast of the movie also includes Stephen Carell, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Louis Gossett Jr.,
Before he passed.
Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Maya Rudolph, Jon Stewart, Sam Rockwell, Sebastian Maniscalco, Christopher Maloney, Richard Jenkins, Aquafina. That's great. She's working again. I thought she wasn't allowed to. Blake Lively, George Clooney, Matthew Rhys, Bradley Cooper, Amy Schumer, Keegan-Michael Key, and Vince Vaughn. So that's a
cast.
That is a cast. Hard to fit all that on a poster, but damn it, they will try. Moving on to movie news. Why don't you tell this story? Because you seem to be giddy about this.
So John Travolta and Nick Cage are rumored, and there's a lot of traction to this rumor, that they're going to reunite for Face Off 2. Latest update from Face Off 2 is that the rumored return of John Travolta, following confirmation from Nicolas Cage of his plans to return for the film, a new rumor suggests that John Travolta has now gotten on board and is set to reunite with him on the sequel. Rumor comes from an unverified report on the project, but known by a famous guy who's scooped a lot of these things. As of now, casting hasn't been officially announced. The thing that I like about it is the project has been kind of in the works since like 2001, because the director of Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, Adam Wingard, is going to be directing it. So that could be fun. He made it clear that the film would be directly connected to the original film, and fans have been wondering how Cage would even return, given that his character has pretty much died at the end of the first movie.
They say story, his face and they put it on somebody else.
Right. The story, basically, Cage has come out and teased how maybe the children of the original film's characters might be involved in some way. So I don't know.
That
could be fun.
Sounds terrible.
I hated the first movie. And it got even crazier. Wasn't it you put me on to when Patrice O'Neal was talking about Face Off?
Yeah.
I re-listened to it. And then
he was telling Norton or Joe DeRosa that it was a terrible movie.
Yeah, because he was into it. Like, he loved the movie. And then they're like, no, go back. And then they shit on the movie. And then he flipped the script and was like, yeah, this movie sucks. And I'm sitting there, I love that movie. And then when I re-listened to him talk about it, I'm like, yeah, the movie sucks. Like, I did the same thing. I'm like, ugh, but I love it anyway.
Tom from Alberta's got the title for the movie, Face Off 2, Facial Recognition.
That would be good.
It's just him trying to get his iPhone to recognize him, or he's trying to order a burger at that burger place in LA where you connect your face to your credit card.
So funny.
Moving on. Did you ever see the movie 9 to 5?
Yeah, with
Dolly Parton and Lily Tomlin.
Wasn't it Dabney Coleman in it?
Dabney Coleman was the boss. And who was the third? No, the fourth. Jane Fonda. So it's a good movie. It's an 80s movie. I think they made the movie based on the song. I think the song was first and then the movie came around with it. But the movie propelled the song to unbelievable heights. It was played all over the radio. It's also how Deadpool 2 starts. It's a fantastic little ditty.
That's right.
So Jennifer Aniston has now officially signed on to produce the 20th Century Studios long in development remake of 9 to 5.
I was in for a minute until I read who it was being written by. I'm out.
Diablo Cody.
I'm out. I can't.
Yeah.
Lisa Frankenstein was terrible. I don't like Jennifer's body. Like, she's not a writer that I
She's not enjoyable. So she's writing the movie. The original cast, including Dolly Parton, Jane Fonda, and Lily Tomlin, will have some sort of involvement in the remake. Now, Dabney's dead, right?
I believe he has
Dabney's
passed.
dead. I was not aware that Lily Tomlin was still alive.
She had her and Jane Fonda, I think, had a very popular Netflix series that ran for like 5 seasons, like recently.
Blitz Mob saying, 20th Century Studios owned by Disney. How do they put a chick in it and make her gay?
Right. I don't know how you would put that.
Yeah. So that's still to come. Harvey Weinstein. This just kind of broke. His conviction back in 2020 here in New York has just been overturned by the New York Appeals Court. The New York State Court of Appeals has overturned Harvey Weinstein's 2020 rape conviction. The court ruled that the judge in the New York County trial
prejudiced.
That seems like the wrong term to be using there. But anyway, trial prejudiced Weinstein with improper rulings, including allowing women to testify about allegations that were not part of the case.
Imagine just allowing women to testify and it's just period.
Yeah. The court ruled that a new trial must take place. Now, I haven't looked further into the story, but my question is this. We know he's in there serving 16 years or something.
Right.
And then he got convicted in LA for something, which had added more years to his term. But it wasn't being served consecutively. Like he would do the 16 and then whatever the LA court case was adds on to it. But he has to go to a different prison system. It's not just like he stays where he is.
Right.
Now, if your court case is overturned and a new trial has to happen, usually if you're incarcerated, they have to let you go.
In cases where that's the only time served that you have to do, yes. In this case, and I read up on it, he does have to serve out his LA prison sentence. So he's not being released for any reason.
That's what I was going to get at. Had he not had another sentencing, he would have to have been released, right?
Yes,
if he didn't have the LA thing, he'd be let free until he goes back to court.
Yes.
Now, chances are he goes back into prison again once the new trial happens. But how does this not become double jeopardy? That he was being charged with again in the court.
Ashley Judd's not in this?
No. Neither is Alex Trebek. He has passed. But how does this not become a thing where he can't be tried again? Because they fucked up.
If they fucked up, it wasn't that he... So double jeopardy only applies to, say, you commit a crime.
Innocent and then they tried to try you again?
Well, no. What happens is that you serve your time for a crime. You can't be tried for that same crime. Because they're vacating the sentencing on this particular court case, that's null and void. So it can't be double jeopardy in that case because they have to do a retrial. They have to, we fucked up, we're going to redo it. It's not the same situation.
Now, look at it this way. If the prosecution fucked up, then he walks free, right? The case is dismissed or he's found not guilty, whatever the prosecution, and that's fucked. It's like we can't petition to try him again because the prosecution fucked up. If the defense fucked up, it doesn't matter that you're going to jail because your defense was terrible and you were sentenced.
Yeah, but in that case, you can do an appeal, which is what happened here.
Which is what they did. But no, they appealed not because they fucked up. They were just appealing the decision.
Right, which you do in every case.
The point I'm getting at is the prosecution fucks up and the guy found innocent or dismissed or whatever walked free. You can't, unless you have brand new evidence, you can't try him again on it. The court fucks up. The judge wound up getting, I think, disbarred 2 years later. And they found a whole history of this judge fucking up. And he's no longer a judge. So that's why this thing got overturned, because he fucked up that court case.
Yeah, it's a mistrial.
With Weinstein. It's just weird. I'm not defending the guy by any means. I'm just trying to figure out the process. Like, so the court fucks up. Oh, we have to redo it again because we fucked up? Like, that's how it goes?
Yeah, because he didn't get a fair trial in that case, which means they're giving him the opportunity to have a fair trial. Because they don't know if
what if I just take it as, hey, you fucked up. I'm using it as a get out of jail free card. Do they not?
The judge goes, I'm the asshole here, and then Harvey goes, yeah, you are. Thanks for admitting it. And then he walks out. Store.
Yeah. Hey, that's the Nagel defense.
Exactly. No, he gets an opportunity to have a fair trial without that judge in the issue. The reason why they can do that is that they can't say one way or the other whether or not the jury would have convicted had that evidence not been there,
right,
or not. So you have to do it and give him that opportunity. And like I said, it doesn't apply as double jeopardy because he wasn't convicted, served his full sentence, and then they're trying to get him again. You can't do it. So,
yeah, it would be nice if they had the option where, again, not in just Harvey's case, but if anything, you were convicted for something, and then a couple years goes by and they find out, holy shit, the judge was on the take, or the judge was corrupt, or the court did something. Your whole thing's overturned and thrown out, but we're gonna have to retry you. Why? That's your fuck up, not mine.
Yeah,
I should have that option of go, you screwed up. I don't want to go through this again because it wasn't my fault. You messed this up the first time.
Right, but that doesn't negate that a possible crime that he committed happened.
Right, but it kind of should. I'm not saying in Harvey's case specifically.
Look. We're sorry that he raped all these women. We kind of fucked it up.
No, it was terrible what he did.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it could be anybody in this situation. Yeah. You kind of should have that option, don't you think? Like, the court fucked up. There was corruption. They whatever. The judge was disbarred. All this stuff. We're going to have to do a new court case. So it's fair. No. It's not fair if it leans heavy and there was evidence that was found later and they just ignored it. And I still went to jail. And then you can say, you guys fucked up. And it's like, well, we don't care. You're still going to jail. It works that way, but it doesn't work the opposite way. When the court fucks up and you go, I don't want to do this again. We're not doing this again because this is your fault. This is how you fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes, Rob, you're right. Eric thinks that if you get poor customer service, you ought to get something go free. Yes, I want a discount. I want my money back. I want to go free. Something to make this situation right. I don't want Disney dollars. I don't want a gift card to Chili's.
I've always wondered that. Well, you have those guys that have been serving these long jail sentences, been in jail for 20 years, and then new DNA evidence sets him free because he was innocent the whole time. What does he get from that? Like, what do you...
Nothing.
Do you get to sue somebody? Do you get to complain to the manager and get, your Disney bucks?
No, I think it's
you're just free now? Sorry, our bad?
It's not like when they've tainted evidence or tampered evidence, or purposely did something behind the scenes. Again, being on the take, the DA might be on a take, the judge, whatever, where you can find something grossly wrong with the process that you can then sue for damages and defamation and all of that other stuff. You see that too. It's like he was arrested 26 years ago for killing this woman, and it turns out he didn't do it. They let him go, and he's like, I'm happy to be free, whatever. But now what? You fucked this guy's life up for 26 years under the assumption that he had committed it, but when it turns out you're wrong, so what's the compensation here then? Nope, you get to be free. No. You don't get to just say, my bad, and then we move on. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah,
At least it shouldn't work like that.
I mean, regardless, he's not leaving jail. I mean, he's still going to stay in jail. It's just that they're going to retry him.
Blitzmob saying you 100% want a gift card for Chili's. You know what? You're right, because they do, like I said earlier, they make those fresh chips. They bring them out with the salsa. They're hot.
I was actually
salty.
just thinking about their chips and salsa the other day, because their salsa is like that. It's almost runny, but also not.
We taped a new episode of The Consumer, and one of the products we were trying is our favorite iced tea, Pure Leaf. Has a brand new iced tea, blackberry flavored.
So good. I drank the rest of mine.
There. And I said the only time I ever had blackberry iced tea was at Chili's. They were the only place I knew that had blackberry iced tea.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't been to a Chili's in forever, but I would get blackberry iced tea all the time because it was delicious. Chili's was a great go-to. You could say what you want about it, and Chili's 2 in the airport just doesn't cut it. But if you go to a regular Chili's, it was fantastic. But they got rid of the ribs that I like, and they got rid of my favorite appetizer. They had an amazing spinach artichoke dip.
Mm-hmm.
That they
I don't
got
even
rid
like
of.
spinach artichoke, but theirs were good.
Theirs was so good. And then they got rid of it because they went on that queso bandwagon, and that does taste like shit.
Looks like Big Cheese got to you guys too.
So does the one, what was the other one that everyone was screaming for them to, Chipotle. People were constantly saying, why don't you have queso? Why don't you have queso? And you taste it's
not good.
Bland. It's garbage. What are you doing, Chili's? You got rid of the Dr. Pepper ribs, and then you had the Shinerbach ribs, the beer company from Texas.
Yep.
Those were amazing.
Shiner.
Now it's garbage.
He's an asshole.
Stupid asshole. Anyway. Finally, ending with Netflix, and their Netflix is a Joke, which is their comedy festival that they put on. The greatest roast of all time. They're roasting Tom Brady.
They are.
The 7-time Super Bowl champion is the target of the first ever roast that will be telecast live and unedited as part of Netflix is a Joke festival. The greatest roast of all time, or GROAT. Get it, sports fans? Will be hosted by Kevin Hart at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles, featuring surprise guests from the worlds of sports, comedy, and entertainment. Oh, great. So outside of comics, when you have celebrities come on there that have no connections to the people being roasted, just that, they're a big name to put on there. So people, Comedy Central's roasts were fucking garbage. Like when the comics were talking, were great. When they had the celebrities on there that had no ties to the person being roasted.
Why is Peyton Manning here?
Yeah. When you go back and watch the old original roasts that used to be aired, the Dean Martin roasts. I bought the DVD set years ago. Yeah, they're all big names, but they all had personal connections to the people. Like, it was the only time Johnny Carson didn't do much outside of the Tonight Show. He wasn't in movies. He wasn't doing a lot of things. But he was there when they roasted Don Rickles because he was good friends with Don Rickles.
Mm-hmm.
And when you saw Lucille Ball, you saw some of these other big, movie stars at the time, but they knew Lucy. They hung out with Lucy. They were friends with her.
Right.
That's how it makes sense. Now you're putting all people in there. It's like, here's the kids from Stranger Things. Like, what? None of them have any connect. Look, they're already ruining other franchises. You don't need to bring them into this too, because they have no connection. Shitting on Chris Hemsworth. It's like, are they in a Marvel movie? No. Did they ever be in a television show or anything with them? No. They're just big names. We brought them in because people like Stranger Things. This is terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. This is we'll see how this goes. This might be funny because if they bring other athletes and have comics writing for them to shit all over him, might be really funny.
It could be.
Kind of like what the ESPYs does.
Yeah, I've got the full schedule here, just some quick notable stuff. They're actually doing like different locations throughout Hollywood and the LA area. At the Hollywood Bowl, they're going to have Jerry Seinfeld, Jim Gaffigan, Nate Bargatze, and Sebastian Maniscalco live at the Hollywood Bowl. So they're all going to be headlining a show with all of them.
I would go see that.
That I would see. Bill Burr is going to be at the Hollywood Bowl. John Mulaney, Seth Rogen is going to do something.
Why?
It's called Seth Rogen Smokes the Bowl. Get it? A big night of comedy, music, special guests, and fireworks supporting Seth and Lauren Rogen's Alzheimer's charity, Hilarity for Charity.
I don't
A
want
lot
to
of
hate Seth
alliteration.
Rogen, but he does so many things that makes you want to hate Seth Rogen.
I know.
Smoke the bull. Stupid laugh. What is he doing? He's not a comic.
No. Let's see. And then over at the forum, they're doing the greatest roast of all time. They're going to do Tom Segura, and Bert Kreischer is going to be there. And yeah, so they're going to do a table read with Chris Rock at the Palladium. So they're doing all these kinds of things. They're also, and I couldn't find any footage if they showed any. They're also premiering tires.
Yes, this it took me a second. The Shane
Gillis
show.
Which he had a pilot out, and you can find it, I think, on YouTube from like 2019. He actually filmed a pilot for this particular thing, and it just never took off. And now Netflix is going to put that out there. So,
yeah, I'm looking for. Here it is, May 23rd on Netflix. You get
Nice.
Your first look at the show Tires. Yeah, Shane Gillis and his people wrote it. Our friend Tommy Pope's in there too, and what's his name? Stravos from I can't remember his last name. Stravos, insert Greek name here, from the Cumtown podcast, and he went solo and he's doing stand up. He's a part of it too. Like there's a lot of good people
right
in this show, so I'm happy to see that this is coming to fruition, and I can't wait to watch that. All right, we are done. We got to get out of here and go live some sort of life so that we have content and fight videos for you next week. So with that being said, it's time to do the plugs. And as always, Jordan, our nation's eyes turn to you.
You can come check me out on my other show, I'll Watch It Later podcast, where we talk movies, stuff we should have probably already seen by now, new movies, concerts, things that we're doing. We have a YouTube channel, I'll Watch It Later podcast. You can check out Watch It Later Pod on Instagram. And my personal one is at Jinxed Ronan. Come say hi.
All right. Thank you very much. For me, why isn't the button changing? There he goes. For me, it's Erik Nagel across the board on all the social medias, also for the show. That's where you find all the content. Do us a favor, if you're listening to us on demand, Apple or Spotify, places of that nature, do us a kindness. Go over there and leave us a positive review. It does definitely help out the program, and we would forever appreciate you doing so. And if you want to join us each and every week as we do said program, you can hop into our live rooms over on YouTube and on Twitch. Go over there, like, follow, subscribe if you feel like you want to do that and help us out. We will not say no to you. Do all of those things, and you can be part of the program. And as always, tell 2 friends. Where's my drop? There we go.
I told 2 friends, but that is not enough.
No, it is. 2 friends tell 2 other friends tell 2 other friends. It's like the coronavirus.
There you go. It's that simple.
So simple.
All right. We got to get out of here. Until the next time, everybody.
Be excellent to each other.
And we'll be seeing you. Take care, guys.
It's Erik Nagel.
Our prime sponsor is now our prime suspect.
Ooh, that's good. That will make a great last line for an episode.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Erik Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itseriknagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.